Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Maverick News Channel. Howdy, Mavericks. Hello, people from all over the world. Oh, they're in Cyberland. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I think I know. But when I look at the headlines every day, I shake my head. And we're going to talk about this tonight. When I've been going down the list of all the broadcasts we've done, and I look at all the thumbnails, I'm like, no wonder people think I'm crazy. I'll show you tonight. And I'm not. I think I'm not, therefore I am not crazy. But the news is, because the world has gone crazy. The world has become very, 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 very angry. And that's because people in positions of authority, people in positions of trust, and people who are supposed to be our leaders, one in particular, has given people permission to be angry and then act out. And I'll show you what I mean by that tonight. I'm not going to do it alone because we have Angie Clowry back tonight to bring us a little more information. And I hate to even talk about it, but it's still out there. Another development on that ostrich farm story, which is going to link into a broader discussion about media, which is what I've just been talking about, because all this stuff links together. That connects to what's going on geopolitically, what's going on in Venezuela, where the oil is now being sold by the United States, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Cuba, what's going on in Greenland, and what's going on in Canada. What, maybe to soon become the 51st state? Oh, we're told. I came across a clip today. Someone of consequence and influence within the separatist movement saying they're not asking. I guess rules don't apply to them. I'll show you. There's a lot to talk about. So hang in there. We'll come back on the other side. Angie Clowry will join us, and we'll start to try to make sense of all the things that just don't make sense.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, let's bring her in once again, back by popular demand from Western Canada, BC's favorite, Angie Clowry. Welcome.
How's it going?
Great. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, we had like a larger program sort of planned for this evening, but it's not really going to come together because there's some other people that were supposed to join, and it just wasn't really coming together. Some people had some more important things to do than come on here and talk about crazy stuff. They have real lives, so we're going to hopefully do this thing tomorrow night. And I mentioned a special guest who was going to join us, and it wasn't Angie. She's very special, though. She's special too. But the other person will be back here tomorrow night, and I'm going to leave that a mystery as well. And then there's another guy who will remain a mystery, and there's a third dude who's mystery dude number 3.
So many mysteries.
It is, isn't it? This is all very shadowy. I'm not telling anybody who these people are. Because, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But you need to be here tomorrow because it's very, 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 very important. Really important. Trust me. Very few do, but do it anyway. And speaking of trust, Angie, we were talking about that. We've mentioned it many times. I can't, you don't know who to trust anymore, right? Nobody knows who to trust. And that's the case right here, right now. So many people messaging me saying, don't talk to that Angie. She can't be trusted. She's not who she says she is. And the truth is, it makes me wonder. Because I don't freaking know. You could be, I don't know, CIA, FSB, Mossad. I have no flipping idea. I look online, it could all be fabricated. People are saying, don't talk to you. Bridget Belton saying,
who exactly are those people, and do they want to have
I would tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. See,
and let's invite them up and have a conversation. Look, I'm a 50-year-old single woman, never married, no kids, originally from Lumbee. Majority of the people know that I exist around Lumbee. I am well known to my family.
It's all right. Come on, you admit it. You have people over there saying, what are you doing on that idiot show? He's a scumbag, can't be trusted. Don't go anywhere near him. People don't like him. You admit it. It's happening. It's true. I can see it in your eyes. They've been saying the same thing to you.
I've had 3 people who are on the left who are not your biggest fans, who are first critics. And to be transparent, they're watching right now.
Yeah.
So if they don't, here's the thing. If I don't like something or someone, I cut it off, I release and let it go and move along. So what do you want to know? Ask away.
I don't really want to know anything. I think I'm happier being ignorant. There's bliss in that, but I'm just bringing it up because it just ties into everything, right? Like that's where we're at. Who is the CIA guy? And I don't think he actually said this, but there's a quote out there. Was it William Casey, former CIA director? That's off the top of my head. I might be getting the name wrong. And he said, once when people can no longer tell what's real or something like that, then we will have done our job. I'll look it up.
Oh, that's horrendous.
Are you familiar with the quote?
No.
Oh yeah. I think it's fairly famous. Like I didn't make it up or discover it. I'm not that important. Who said from the CIA? Once people can no longer, I know I'm not getting it right, but what's real, we will have done our job. And answer is, survey says, Family Feud. Yeah, William J. Casey, director of the CIA, 81 to 87. He says, we'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false.
That's concerning. And so you have to
Shit.
remember at that time, sorry, what year was that? You said 80s?
81 to 87, he was
I-
CIA director.
Like, obviously, I was young in that time, but I remember that we would sit, have dinner together, and then watch the news. So the news was like a very big staple, I think, in our lives up until I want to say 15 years ago. It was important to sit, and obviously the demographics have completely changed now. But it was a real family time. We all sat around and watched the news, especially if something local was on or something that, for example, if it was involved in the forest industry and we knew it was coming on, that forestry fed our family, still does. And so we find that important. Or if there's, something that affects us, like forest fires, obviously. And I think that's the interesting thing is no one cares about legacy media or truth until something's happening in your neck of the woods. So we have forest fires, unfortunately, they used to happen, I think, significantly, roughly about every 7 years. And now they just seem to happen more. And with our valley specifically here, if one happens at one end of the valley, we all get the smoke, even if Washington or Alberta or even California fires, right? So it's super interesting just to be an observer to all this. And I specifically remember I went back to Bell Media. I was hired as a sales supervisor at the time. And on day 2, when I went back, Bell Media let go of all the news directors, like across the country. And I remember thinking our news director had small kids and stuff. And I was super nervous about that because I was like, he should have the job. I don't need this job. Like, he needs it more than me, type thing. Right. And I remember ever since then, the tweets and the press releases that became the news because there's no one else to go back and ask both sides of that. Right. And I keep telling people that. I know people were frustrated with me when I was having my interviews because I'm interviewing both sides of it, not equally, I admit to that, but I'm trying to get both sides to see if there's any commonality, and also, to educate people on what I think I know to be true. So yeah, it's really changed. And then unfortunately, if you go back to, and the CIA is a part of it, like, what have they done? What have they covered up? Like, then you're going to the conspiracies of, JFK and, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and Tupac, who knows? You know what I mean? Epstein. So I think that's the concern. And you're right. Don't know who to trust.
See, and that's what it isn't just CIA, it's other foreign governments, and it's even opposing political parties and political activists who, you see it. It's so bad. Anytime you have any major news event, like the killing of Charlie Kirk or just anything, you instantly get 15 different versions of what is supposed to have happened. All kinds of conspiracies, certainly a lot of theories. And I think it is designed, maybe not by a single source, but the result is you end up never knowing what the truth is. Even when investigators, police conduct a thorough investigation and it goes through the court system and you think you're going to have justice, in the court of public opinion, it's chaos. And that's one of the biggest vulnerabilities facing the United States and Canada today, but especially the United States. It is not by accident. It is designed to just destabilize the country and erode trust in institutions to the point where you can maybe get some guy elected who becomes president and feels that it's his privilege or maybe his right to flip people off with the bird whenever he wants to do it, and take over entire countries. And people think that's normal. Because he says, well, we got to do it. It's in our own best interests. Since we're number one, we get to do whatever we want.
President Bush did the same thing, didn't he?
Yeah, in many ways he did. Yep. It seems to be a trend, a recurring theme that maybe, just maybe, I just wasn't awake to it. In fact, I'm certain that I wasn't. and not just the United States, but the other big countries as well. Because we watched the 6 o'clock news, got the stories that we were given, fed, believed all of that, had a perspective repeated from 3 or 4 television networks and a handful of dominant newspapers.
We only had 3 news channels or 3 channels growing up. So impressed that you had more than us.
Well, we did, because we had Canadian news and American news. So I don't know what you had where you were, but I'll tell you, I'm so freaking old. We had a black and white TV and bunny ears. You know what bunny ears are?
Yeah, we had bunny ears and a black and white TV downstairs growing up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was our Atari TV after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So black and white TV. And so here in London, and we were able to pick up Channel 7 WXYZ TV Detroit and some Canadian channels as well. And Channel 2 WJBK out of Detroit, and the local CBC affiliate. It was, here in London. And so, we had, I think maybe 5 channels, maybe 6 eventually. Yeah. So anyway, bottom line is you had ABC, CBS, and then you got cable, right? So you had more channels. So you had basically 13 channels, and then UHF later, which added a couple more. So then 15. How many channels do we have now? Oh,
wouldn't even
thousands on satellite cable, or hundreds anyway. And then if you go online, you have an almost infinite number of choices, including Maverick News. So, Rose Colored says, yes, Walker, you are crazy. Thank you. One of my biggest fans. Is that one of the leftists that is not one of my biggest fans that you're familiar with?
Might be.
Yeah, I love you too, man. Every single night. So, welcome to the club. That's what it's come down to. People in the chat causing trouble, flipping the bird, telling me to F off. Where does that come from? From people who normalize it. People who create the conditions, I guess, where people feel justified in seeking some sort of revenge. I don't know, but it's not healthy, and it's out of control on the streets of these protests. Regardless of which side you're on, it's a tragedy when a young woman gets shot in the face 3 times.
Absolutely.
A federal officer or whatever it is. Yeah.
And then you have all these different people that are justifying it or saying it's horrible. And at the end of the day, there's a woman and a partner and a child involved. There's parents involved. And I think that's where my concern is, I actually overheard a friend of mine on a live saying they had a bit of a smirk when they overheard that someone passed away. And I was like, it just kind of gutted me, because I think a lot of this people assume is not real. It's kind of like an Avatar situation, when at the end of the day, there's real people at the end. And if you get excited because someone is doing their job, or you think they're correct and they have taken the life of someone, or you are outraged by it, I think everything is just too accessible as well, right? Should we be outraged? I think so. Anytime someone dies, anytime anything dies. But
you outraged anytime someone dies? You mean if someone dies through injustice or violence? You mean?
Well, are we so attracted and connected to all of this here? Are we actually connected to our own world? Are we actually checking in? Are we walking our dogs, checking in on our cats? Are we checking in on the neighbors? Or are we just so mesmerized by all of this? I think, a lot of things can be true at the same time. And the injustices, are we as outraged at the injustices that happen in Canada that we are in the United States? Or if you hate Trump, you hate Trump, the giver. I always tell everyone I try not to hate anyone, but I can tell you this, my dad and I had a battle, I think in 2016 over Trump. My dad is a conservative, and at that time I was not. I was disgusted with anything to do with the conservatives in Canada and the US. And, I think these discussions need to happen because I think we learn more and we're more connected, when we have these conversations and talk things out and realize we do have commonalities. And, at the end of the day, this kind of stuff, all of this online, the negative chats that are saying, here's the funny thing about the negative chats. They're here every day. So if they don't like you, Rick, the same people are on this chat saying they don't like you.
Yeah, I know.
Every day.
Because they secretly love me.
Change the channel.
It doesn't bother me. They can be in there and say whatever they want. That's their channel. And I had to sort of split those folks off because it's like tropical fish. Have you ever had tropical fish?
No, I don't. No, I haven't.
No? Okay. So I was a really cruel bastard, and I had tropical fish and goldfish too. So what I did is I had people at the pet store have other people go catch fish from the wild. And then I held them prisoner in an aquarium where they were continuously tortured, and fed fish flakes, a steady diet of that, and only one kind. So they never had any variation in their life. And it was, they were going insane in the tank. But it's so insane that certain types of tropical fish would eat the other kinds of tropical fish. So it was just complete terror in the tank all the time, with the weaker fish being eaten by the more powerful predatory fish, and they're all together. And so they're just the weaker ones were living a life of constant fear. And I was the cruel bastard who set up that scenario. I'm sorry. Actually, it's not, it's true. If you have to know what you're doing if you have tropical fish, because not all fish can live together, because certain types of fish will eat the other fish or attack them and kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. You can't leave these guys on the haters channel over with the other people, because they're just disruptive and they cause problems and they break things all night. And then nobody wants to hang out there because they keep setting the place on fire. But if you do anything, here's my solution. They keep saying, if you give them a timeout or you ban them, you don't believe in free speech, because they're really not there to engage in free speech. They were just there to try and shut the channel down. That's what these people are all about. They're just destructive and disruptive. So, but I do believe in free speech. So I've given them their own channel and they can say whatever they want in there. And that channel's actually growing. And so go ahead, man, do whatever you want. I'm all for freedom. But sometimes you have to split up the tropical fish. When we had this channel, this whole channel has been an experiment. I didn't set this up to get clicks, make $1 million, make it the biggest YouTube channel anywhere. As a journalist, I thought this is going to be very interesting because there's such a divide politically that I'm going to make this a free speech experiment. And an experiment in journalism, new form journalism. And so when we started out, it was like a free-for-all. And for a while, it was sort of working. It was like, never ban anybody, just let people say whatever they want in the chat, just let it go. And I was attracting, I think, people who were pretty much in alignment with what I was saying at the time, and each other. And that was kind of when the convoy was going on, right? But there was that single event, and there was that single issue of lockdowns, mandates, right? The whole thing during COVID that galvanized people. So everybody on the channel seemed to be in lockstep, and it was all focused on that stuff, and that's what kept it all together. But over time, issues have changed, things have evolved, and, separatism rears its head, or you've got social issues, and then it's like, was the election in the States stolen or not? What about the voting machine thing? And it just, all these different issues get reemerge over time, right? And then those issues fade, and then you get into something like the crazy ostrich farm, which becomes a political circus, and people become divided. And you've seen it too, where people with different political views end up coming together and joining forces because of an issue. And so that's what's been going on here. So the everything has evolved, but it has not been easy. And it has also, I hope it has taught people here lessons that we should have learned from hundreds, thousands of years of political and public discourse, earlier experimentation with free speech. And what I think is apparent here, and I've tried to explain it to people, is you can't really have free speech without imposing some limits on free speech. Because if you don't impose at least some limits, your free speech begins to infringe on other people's free speech. If you're just in the chat causing problems, if you're shouting and screaming to drown out others around you that you don't agree with, that's not free speech. Or if you're in there engaging in some sort of malicious propaganda campaign or something negative just to shut things down, like if you're not in there exercising good faith, if you're not there for real reasons, it starts to fall apart. And so you have to impose some limits. And then, so we slowly over time, a little bit more of, another benchmark. Okay, this is the new limit. And then it's creep. And the vulnerability in all of that has been that the negative people, the people trying to destroy things, they take advantage of it because they pretend like they're there in good faith, but they're not. And so they purposely cause problems in order to keep moving that marker forward, and so that you get more and more freedom taken away. And they're laughing about it behind your back secretly. Well, I get the blame, or your government gets the blame, or somebody else who's making the rules is getting the blame. But the real person to blame is the person causing all the problems, because you would have a lot more freedom if the person causing the problems wasn't the one creating the conditions where you have to have limits imposed to greater and greater degrees in order to protect people so they can have at least some free speech. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that has been the evolution of the entire thing here, to the point where I had to split the tropical fish and send some over here and some over there because they can't get along. And because if I hadn't done that, it would have destroyed the channel. It was preventing, making it impossible for the channels to grow. It was getting some channels shut down. So in reality, the people who are screaming the loudest about free speech were the very people who were making sure that free speech was destroyed. They were the ones who were doing things to get YouTube to shut the channel down, because they're all freaking fake and they don't believe in freedom at all. And they certainly don't believe in free speech. They just believe in freedom of speech for themselves, but not for you. That's been the result of the experiment thus far. And so I'm still desperately clinging to my ideals about free speech, trying to give even people who hate my guts, which is fine, and don't agree with me, who show up every single day, because they have a place here too, but they have to be over there. But I didn't ban them. I just gave them their own place.
So where is over there? Where can the haters go?
If you hate my guts, and you like, if the name Rick Walker triggers you, makes you red in the face, your blood pressure rises so that your eyeballs pop out of your skull, you want to be over in the Twitch channel with all the others who just spit nails all night long in the chat.
So if it's okay with you, we should welcome anyone who doesn't like me over to that channel as well.
Sure. I'll say all haters of Angie Clowry to the Twitch channel, please. All haters of Angie Clowry to the Twitch channel, please.
There you go. Take yourselves out, kids.
Yeah. But I didn't ban anybody. I haven't banned a single person, and I get accused of it all the time. Why don't you let me? You have to unban me on this channel or that. No, I didn't ban you, man. All we did.
That's the reason why you shut down the comments on YouTube, correct?
I had to, because they were so bad, intentionally bad, that they were going to have the YouTube channel taken down by YouTube, because they were saying things in there that were illegal and so hateful, so grossly toxic, that for sure the channel would get shut down.
The one thing that I don't think enough people know about, and granted this happened, I'm trying to remember how many years ago now. So even people in this chat or on Facebook or that send harassing notes, if you've never been in court, and I don't know if you've ever had to be a reporter, but you've sat in court, you know, where something that you're invested in, when people are reading out what they said, and you know, it may be a joke between you two, or maybe like a I don't know, like locker room talk, so to speak, like something you'd really not want everyone to hear, but all of a sudden you're reading it out loud. It ends up in media, it ends up in print. Like, I have been there when people have had to read out the horrible things that they've said to someone else, and then try to justify that it's a joke. And that's why on the groups that I'm admin to, specifically on Facebook, I always tell everyone, until you have to take a freaking day off work, until you, or hopefully you're a reporter, but there's not really that many out there anymore. But until you have to take a day off work to watch someone you care about or something you're invested in read out notes, you've never known embarrassment. You've never known shame until that happens to you, or someone you care about, or a business partner, or jocks in a locker room. It's and that even happens in like divorce court, family court, right? Like if you really want to know shame, sit there and listen in. It's horrendous, because you have to remember, everything you say online, it's there forever.
Sort of.
And also looking up harassment, libel, slander, criminal harassment. It's actually quite easy to open a file on that these days.
Yeah. Yeah. As we know. Here. Take a look at the, let's just do a little scroll through Twitter. Like this video here came out from Trump a few weeks ago, right? Probably maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember. Yeah, October. Where he's crapping on people. And ha, that's funny. I was watching it and I thought, no, this is not right. This is
from Trump himself.
He reposted it.
Oh dear God.
I can't remember who created it, but he was reposting it on Truth Social. So here he is taking a big crap on Americans. These are Americans that he, I guess, views as his political protest. So, did you not see that?
No.
Oh yeah, that was big for about 2 days. And then he's got his Burger King crown on because he went and got his kiddie meal at the Burger King. He got his cardboard crown out and he put that on. So you go take a big dump on America. And that helps normalize bad behavior. And here he was yesterday in Detroit at the Ford plant, and he's flipping off an auto worker. Yeah, F you, right? Because
auto worker said something like that as well, right?
Yeah,
said,
right.
Did he say you're not my president or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think he was like, you're protecting pedophiles or something.
That's right.
To that effect.
That's right.
But you know, what's that tell us? It tells us that everything's breaking down. And when the president of the United States is out there flipping the bird at people, it tells you like we're close to the edge, right? This is the leader of the free world. And that's how he's responding to somebody who heckles him, when in reality, Trump has all the power. The worker on the shop floor, who's he? He's just a little guy. But Trump feels compelled to flip the bird because, you know why? He's not that powerful after all. He's threatened by the guy. He doesn't like it. But it just shows that Public discourse is broken down and people can't talk to each other anymore. So rather than try to engage in any kind of civil conversation, it's just F you. And he's making it okay. And then as you scroll down, you know, it's like everywhere. And then people post stuff like this that they make, where it's like, yeah, right on, President Trump, you're my man. You're the man. You tell him, give him the finger. And when I think back to the earliest days of Trump and him coming down the escalator, and then, he would push back on journalists who would ask hard questions, and he'd say, well, you're fake news, and people laughed and they applauded that. And I didn't really applaud it so much, but I did chuckle at times because it was like, yeah, because the other side kind of had been going way too far too. And then he was calling it. Yeah, that's right.
I think we were going to talk about ethics, right?
Yep.
And journalism and broadcasting and, print and other organizations, unlike this, have rules and responsibilities. So, for example, there's the CRTC, which has changed the name now, but Canadian Radio, Television,
Telecommunications Commission.
Yeah. So, for example, we could never say fresh on a commercial.
They haven't changed their name. CRTC.
I thought they added another letter in there.
I think you're thinking of a conversation the other night, the RTDNA, Radio Television Digital News Directors Association.
Yeah. Pardon me. So we couldn't say fresh. We couldn't say brand new. We couldn't, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you just can't prove.
Yeah, and that's not actually CRTC. And you know who it is? It's the Television Bureau of Canada. And because I'd still do some commercial production to actually pay the bills. And so every television commercial that I produce, I have to get that. It has to go through regulatory approval. I have to submit it. It's reviewed for the client. And it goes through a firm called Think TV and the TVB, and then they come back with an approval or not. And yeah, you're right. You can't say things like fresh. Depends on how you use it.
And also, I recall one time there was a live interview going on a talk show that I was involved with, and a guy absolutely, I think they may have said, like, if you eat these granola bars or whatever they were, you'll get cancer. And as soon as they said it, you could just hear the building run because everyone's like, oh my gosh, right? And it was I worked in a radio station with multiple stations in it, a broadcast company with multiple stations in it. And so you could just hear, and then people just started coming in going, oh my gosh, like, get the lawyers on the phone. But what I did one time, the only time there's twice I've had the CRTC involved. Once, do you remember that song, Pave Paradise, Put Up a Parking Lot? And I can't remember who sang it, the Canadian version, and it came out, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Late 60s, early 70s.
It got revamped 20 years ago. And so,
right.
And so it was played a lot. So back in the day, we used to have you couldn't play the same artist every 3 hours. And then it went to like 90 minutes, and then it's the same song 90 minutes because everyone listens to radio differently now. They listen less time, so they play more of the top songs. So anyways, this is 20 years ago, and this individual called me and said, why the hell are you playing this song all the time? I said, and I explained to him, I'm like, went into great detail. I'm like, look, we have to play 35% Canadian music. I gave him such a great explanation. Not only did they lodge a complaint with the CRTC, but they wrote a huge article in the paper. I believe it was in Revelstoke, because where we syndicated was in Revelstoke. And I was like, oh my gosh. But they lodged a complaint that we were playing the song too much. And then another time I did this commercial for, funny enough, a sex shop up in the BC's north. And we blanked out a whole bunch of words in this commercial, so you couldn't actually hear what it was about. And so what happened is we had, I think, like a 6-week program, but it's one of those things where they're building a building, they're setting it up. And now we're going into like the 12th week, and it's still blurping everything out. And people were complaining left, right, and center. And I got complaints to that too. And I was a sales rep on that account. And the funny thing was, is we kind of got reprimanded, and because the bleeps, it sounded like swear words. I did it on purpose. It was, to create an action. And then when it came out, within 3 months, that organization had all of their 12-month goals completed, like financially. It was the biggest ordeal because, and we went from a 6-week campaign to 12 weeks. And it was insane what happened. And also, you get called in with your vice president of programming and, the big boss man pants and the bean counter. And then you have someone else who's in Toronto, I guess, having this conversation like, you shouldn't have really done this. And then the poor creative guys there is like, Angie wrote it and did it, like, not threw me under the bus, which was fine. But then at the end of it, the sales were ginormous for that company. So,
well, there are rules, yeah, CRTC. So, on the commercial side, just to clarify, when we're saying can't use the word fresh, you can use it, but it depends on how you use it. It's like when I've done commercials for like a local restaurant, they sometimes want to use the phrase home cooking. You can't say that because it's not cooked at home. So you have to say home style.
Fresh food is the one we got caught with.
Yeah.
You can't say fresh food. You can't say fresh fish, pardon me. So it was fresh fish because it was caught literally the day before. They fly it up that night. They're serving it to you today. So that was actually a client of mine that doesn't live or their building is actually quite close, in the area I live. So
you could put that on the internet, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no rules there.
Talk about it in a podcast.
And you know what else? Every commercial, every television program that I've produced for television has to be closed captioned for the hearing impaired.
Yeah.
I have to add that in. I have to invest in the technology here in our studio, in my mom's basement here, right? In order to do that. It used to be even a lot more expensive because back in the day, when we were on like Beta SP broadcast tape, you had to have special technology. I used to have to send the stuff out to a captioning house, and it was really expensive. Then I got the technology so I could do it in-house to Beta SP. Now I can do it in the computer. But it's been an evolution. It's expensive, but you don't have to do that for the internet. Now they have technology, though, that automatically captions on YouTube and some other platforms, not all, but some other platforms. So it'll put the text up for you in real time, but it didn't used to be there. But there's this uneven playing field, which is also what has put broadcast television at a disadvantage. They're still facing all these regulations, all these rules to keep them honest. Not that they always are, but to try to keep them honest. And between the guardrails, while over on the internet, it's still very much kind of like the Wild West while people are screaming and hollering about censorship.
And I think we also in legacy media previously had discernment and respect for individuals, for names, for situations, right? I'll never forget, there was this one time in the North Okanagan, there was a car accident where they were pulling the gentleman out of the car and their butt cheeks and everything were showing. And I was like, what in the actual flip am I looking at here? I was still in media at the time. I was disgusted at it. I wrote a letter and said, like, this is not needed. And then that gentleman ended up passing away. So the last photo of that man is literally his bare ass hanging out. And I just thought, like, what kind of ethics do we have? And that's a long time ago now. But I guess the point being is that previously, if we made an error in journalism, we had to apologize for it. We had to speak out. We had to say it in the next newscast. Like, for example, I made an error with one of the former mayors in Vernon, and I was so embarrassed because they were charged with 3 things, and they ended up dropping 1 or 2 of them, and I misunderstood which one they dropped. And I was devastated that I made that error. And so I had to do a retraction, right? So I think that the point is that anyone anywhere doesn't have to make a retraction. They just don't.
It goes beyond that. A lot of live streamers who are viewed as journalists or trustworthy distributors of information, a lot of them intentionally say things they know are not true because it gets clicks, and they're rewarded for doing things like that because it generates views, and hence the creation of conspiracy theory channels, right? Where there might be some truth, but it's wrapped up in a bunch of lies, or political influencers online who will engage in all kinds of political rhetoric. The people, they'll sit at a desk where they look like a newscaster, or just present themselves as in a way that they're trying to generate an image or a veneer of credibility and impartiality, when in reality they're entirely biased, entirely partial, and working as a political operative to deliver you a political narrative to get you to think a particular way and vote a particular way. That's what it is. Or to even engage in political action out in the streets or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
And no checks and balances there, other than the algorithms and the tech lords who decide who gets who gets not just free speech, but also reach, right?
But also too, haven't you ever researched a story, read the news, and you only told the worst case scenarios of it? For example, I remember being a news reporter in Vernon Sun FM years ago, and my hometown schools were going to be shut down. I told everyone the worst case scenario, and I could freely admit this was absolutely my bias thing, because I was irritated that the small community of Lumbee was going to have 3 schools removed. So that's the only I said, like, the school district is going to shut down 3 schools, and I 100% admit that I actively made that decision to do that. And here's a freaking hell of a story. I also was the one who organized the protest against it. So here I am organizing the protest, getting everyone to write on their windows, all this stuff. And then I'm reporting on it as it goes by, because I have been a community organizer all my life. So, that I can definitely admit I was absolutely biased on that. And I told my boss at the time, and, she still knows I haven't lived in Lumbee since I was 21, but I'm still passionate about it. Lots of people send me the information, and I still get it out to the media if I can and talk about it. But yeah, I admit there's times, and also too, I should tell this story. So I remember being co-hosting the afternoon news, Campbell River and Courtney. It was called the Eagle radio station back in the day. And there was an interview I had to do with unions, and I didn't really understand unions at the time. I come from a conservative family who owns and operates, their own logging business. And so I didn't really understand it. So what I used to do is I used to give the unions more time, because I didn't understand them and I didn't respect them. And so that's what I tried to do, is give what I disagreed with more time than not, because that was in my head, balancing things out. I'm a Libra, so I like to have things balanced in a way. So have you ever done that? Have you ever shared information? Or, like, the thing was for example, with the 3 schools, one of the schools did get shut down. It's still shut down to this day. The other 2 remained open, but I told the worst case scenario that all 3 of them were going to get shut down. That was a possibility, but like 2% out of whatever.
So what you're asking me, have I ever intentionally presented stories when I was, like, say, at CTV, that I intentionally gave more weight or time to one side than another?
Yeah, because back when I used to report the news, we had 45 seconds for each story.
Yeah.
We don't anymore. There's less than 15 seconds. So we had to get the people the most information to keep them engaged to move on to the next story. So was it wrong? Was it ethical?
Let me think. When I think the most guilty I might have been of something like that was during a federal election in my hometown of Chatham. There was a Liberal candidate who was challenging the Conservative. I think it was the incumbent at the time. And I mean, I was personally, I was very much, I wanted the conservative guy to win. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, but but here's why I wanted the conservative guy to win, or anybody else, frankly. I really didn't care who else. I didn't want the liberal guy because it wasn't even for purely ideological reasons or anything. This was well before the lockdowns and the pandemic and everything. But I really didn't want that guy to win because I thought he was just nuts, absolutely stark raving nuts. And all the other media, they were just treating the guy like they were helping him because they were clipping him in ways that made him sound like he made sense.
Wow.
So I was like, what are you guys doing? Why are you why are you editing all of these things so that he sounds sane when he's clearly not all there? And he was well known in the community. And his son was really well known in the community. But I was like, I'm not participating in this bull, right?
Mhm.
Because he's freaking crazy. So what I did is, I gave him more time. I just let him talk. And I gave him longer clips so people could see that this guy was like nuts.
Yeah.
And other people I think were incorrectly reporting on polls. And so I was guilty of giving him more time so that people could see the reality of what was really before them as a choice. So guilty is charged that way. And the other thing is, and inevitably, you have to give less time to some people because if you don't, it's not fair either, because it gives the illusion of equality of support when you're giving equal time to someone who has almost no support or maybe even no support. Like nobody will vote for somebody, but you're still giving them time simply because they put their name on a ballot and registered as a candidate. That doesn't really serve the voters well either. You have to earn your place in the court of public opinion at times of election, in my view. Now, I don't know if these rules are still in place for broadcast television, but there used to be something that came on at least once a week where each party, a prominent member of each political party in Canada, was given time on television to just give their spiel.
Yep.
And there was a rule where you had to give everybody equal time, right?
Still happens today.
Yeah. I can't remember what the name of the program is, but
in radio, it still happens. And so a couple things that are still in place, the rate cards, they're bumped up, number one, for elections. And everyone gets to purchase the same program. Like you don't have the deals, so to speak. They're like 30-second spots and they're like $78 or whatever the price is, depending on the radio station, 50 or 25. And when you interview one, you have to make opportunities to interview all of the candidates. So I think they more so in the Okanagan would just focus on the mayor candidates. I know, for example, in Kelowna, they often have too many. So usually it'll go to print or somewhere else for the councillors, because there can be up to 30 of them, right? To have that many on radio or television, for that matter, doesn't work. And also we have online, like, Castanet, Info News, and a couple others that they do have to, if you have one person on, you have to have them all on.
That's right. And when you do a news story during an election, about the election, you are supposed to at least mention every candidate.
Yeah.
You're supposed to at least mention. I don't know how you enforce that, though, when a political game is played and you put, I don't remember how many people did they have on the ballot in the riding where Poilievre was running?
Oh, it's like 90s or something, wasn't it? It was wild.
Oh, it was like insane, right? So that was obviously a tactic to disrupt things and prevent him from finding a path to victory, which worked. What would the outcome would have been otherwise, I don't know, but I guess we'll never know. We just know what happened. So you get a minute 30 in TV to tell a story versus 45 seconds on radio. And in that 90 seconds, there's no way you can mention all those names. So you can't comply with that rule or regulation. It's impossible. But would it serve the voters well to do that? No. You need to focus on the people who actually have real support and are there to and are there as viable choices for the people, and explore the issues that way. It doesn't serve people well to keep putting people on the fringes. I hate to use that word, but you know what I'm saying. People with no support on there and giving them all this time, because you're giving this illusion of support at that point.
It's also, I've been to debates for mayoral candidates that don't know the basics about taxation, that don't know, you know, that our provincial taxes cover healthcare and education, roads, you know, that everyone comes in and you're listening to these people that just don't have a grasp. And that's one thing I've always said is it has to take a special person for me to support that has not already been on a town council of some sort. If they're going into a mayor position, into provincial politics or the MP, I have been there on the island and watched a gentleman, funny enough, come from running a radio station going into local politics as the mayor. And it took them 6 weeks to get them all up to snuff to know what he was doing, because he'd never been in a meeting before. You know, they managed their own family business and they got to make all the decisions. So all of a sudden you have essentially a board, you have to get everyone in agreement. And that, you know, just in regards to politics too, I think you have these people that just don't know the basics of how to run a municipality that are out there with these big pipe dreams. You know, you kind of wonder, and not to denounce them for not knowing, but it's not a good investment of time. It's important to have their voice, but it can be embarrassing. But it does. I guess that's the reason why we have these, is so that everyone has their say, right?
I'm just in the chat, and Stoic Teacher, I think I probably, when I said make the reference to being in my mom's basement, and Stoic Teacher says the Bat Cave, RW. That's right. We're in the Bat Cave.
In the Bat Cave.
I like that. Atomic. What is that? Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. It's a very dynamic broadcast. What else do we have going on over here? Oh my. Journalism must be so interesting. Yeah, it is, because it's also an experiment in starvation. Oh my.
So it is. I think that's something I think we touched on a bit yesterday. So
yeah.
You came on to a live that we were having on TikTok and we just talked about that. The bottom of the barrel financially, unfortunately, is news reporting.
Oh shit.
When I went from, I'm trying to think, I went from news to assistant program director. I think I almost doubled my income just with that one jump, right? And then you go into sales, and obviously you make 4 times as much. So yeah.
Get out of town. Really? 4 times as much?
Oh yeah. within 6 months, 13 weeks, as a matter of fact, is I blew the doors off of anything I'd ever made. And I used to work sometimes 2 and 3 jobs, just because I enjoyed them. I was super outgoing, had lots of energy, full of whatever and vinegar back in the day. Yeah, it's unfortunate that the news media reporters, journalists, as hard as they work, have always been the worst paid in media.
Yeah. So
and you're finding that right now?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, see, I always worked in news. I was very fortunate because I ended up over in television, which we talked about on your live thing last night. And it pays better than radio. I didn't get rich, but you know, and I was in a good place. I was really, really lucky, and a lot of good people over there, even though they take it on the chin every day for being part of the mainstream media. Still a lot of good folks over there. Yeah. Somebody's asking about Bridget. Did I talk about Bridget? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. Bridget was supposed to be on tonight too.
Uh-oh.
And hopefully she'll be here tomorrow. because I have things that we need to discuss with her, because her perspective is I think important to a portion of this discussion that we're having about media tonight. So we'll get her on. And
do you want to talk a bit about her? Not everyone knows.
You mean behind her back?
Well, no,
she's not listening.
Talking about Bridget. Who is Bridget to you?
Who is Bridget to me?
Unless
Bridget Belton?
Leave it as a teaser. Not everyone even knows.
Okay, well, since she's not here, we can say whatever we want. No, I came into contact with Bridget really not until after the Freedom Convoy. I was was aware of Bridget, but she came on my program. Some people were like, "You have to talk to Bridget, the mother of the convoy," and that was, oh man, I don't remember the date, but it was just shortly after the convoy was disbanded, if I remember right, and people were like, "You have to talk to Bridget because she's the person who really started the convoy," and that was a long time ago. And so I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And there was like this struggle going on to sort of get the truth out about who started the convoy. And I was like, I don't really care who started the damn convoy, but whatever. I talked to everybody. And then she came on, and we got her story, which became more well known through the Public Order Emergency Commission hearings and the news. She never got the attention thrust upon her, though, that like Chris Barber and Tamara Litch have had, because they're the ones that have been promoted as the leaders or the creators of the convoy, which is, you can dispute it, but that's a Rebel News creation largely, along with a team of other creators or live streamers out there. And I also, and I've divulged this, like I proofread her book for her. Because she came to me and said she needed someone she could trust. And that was my job. It was just simply to proofread it, grammar, spelling, story structure, the paragraphs structured properly. It had to be formatted to a certain standard, and also meet with the publisher's guidelines. So there are a lot of rules, right? Very technical work. And and you need somebody who can fix those problems without undermining the tone and the intent of what she's saying. Mm-hmm. Not my job to rewrite it or inject any editorial influence into it at all. It's all has to be all her. So it can't even be completely technically correct. There could be spelling mistakes in it if it is part of preserving her style and tone so that it presents as her authentic work. So that's what I had to do as a proofreader. And I struggled with that. And this is okay. So now it's coming out. This is why I wanted Bridget on the program, because we're talking about ethics. We're talking about how far do you go? What should you be involved with? What what if you're a journalist and you're trying to, and you're presenting yourself to the public as someone who can be trusted, how trustworthy can you be if you are taking a hard side with one side or the other for political reasons, or getting involved with them, or even taking money from them? And so I struggled with whether I should even do the work for her, because there's the political element of her book. It's not just something not just a personal story. It's a highly charged political event and an account of that. And then above and beyond that, should I even take any money for doing the work? But I've always taken the ethics thing to an extreme with my journalism, to the point where even as a cub reporter, I would show up at news events. I wouldn't eat a donut if they had donuts and coffee out at a news conference, because I didn't want to compromise myself. And I'll tell you, like, I will do that today, because if you don't, people look at you like you are freaking nuts, or like you antisocial, right? But if you take a meal at at a fundraising event and they sit you down at the table and they shove a plate in front of you. Come on in and join us. Sit down, have a meal. Would you like a beer? Like, does that influence you? Or when I was and I stopped doing it just within the past year because of the tariffs and so on. But when I was reviewing automobiles for the car companies, not for the car companies, but for my program, I never, like, they didn't pay me anything, but they provide the vehicles. So how do you, like, are you influenced if they give you a car? Because I could get any car I want at any time.
Yeah.
I get the cars that I've had, that I've been able to drive.
Yeah.
Like, it is an incredible privilege and responsibility because you don't want to smash them up or get them scratched, right? But really high-end cars, Jaguars, right? Jaguar F-Type turbocharged, like, oh my God, how lucky am I?
Yeah.
When the new Camaro came out, I was driving around in one of those things and people were like, their heads were turning because, like, wow, whiplash, just look at the things because they were so beautiful and new. Yeah. And everybody was like, where did you get that? Oh my God. Because I was like one of the first ever to have one driving down the road in my town, and I'm reviewing it, right? But here's the answer. I'm not compromised because I didn't take money from any of the car companies, and they are either donating or not. They're making a vehicle available to me to test drive, or they have the opportunity to provide a vehicle for a test drive and review on the program if they so choose. If they don't want to, that's up to them. But I'll get something else because they're all eager to have their products promoted on any platform where you have an audience. And I was on television, and we by default get an audience there. I could put collar bars up and still have people watching. So they were like, yeah, we'll give you cars, all of the companies. So there was balance there. You see, I wasn't biased toward one company or another, and I was able to give impartial reviews. But these are the things that you struggle with to make sure that you're serving the public well. Over to you.
So I was thinking I remember being on a bus. It was, I can't remember if it was a school bus or whatever. We were in Courtenay and Campbell River, and I got invited to go to a protest. Gordon Campbell was in power, I believe, at that time. And so I was legit on the bus with all union people, all anti-liberal supporters, I guess they were at that time. And I wouldn't take a coffee. I wouldn't take a donut. I didn't even know if I should be on that bus, but my news director told me it was okay to go. He just said, be mindful, don't ask questions and, don't be too friendly to people, be objective. I remember being so scared crapless because at that time I had voted that way. And then I ended up asking all these people, well, they voted for him too. Now they're pissed off because they don't like the situation that's going on in the province. And I was like, what the heck? Like, you guys are all mad, but yet you voted for him. So, and that was the funny thing there is because I felt guilty. And then the funny thing is, later in the year, Stockwell Day and Stephen Harper were coming through and doing a tour. And so they invited me to an airplane hangar, I think in obviously Comox. And so we were there, and that was another thing. It was like a hush-hush thing. It was all business people, like quite wealthy conservatives. And that was another one where they invite us. And so what I would always do, I would take my colleague at the competitor radio station, and I'd be like, I can definitely go, but I have to take my competitor so that we're both there together. We both can hold each other accountable and then share that story. And I remember feeling like, should I be here? Should I not be here? Because there's a difference between my own morals and then, news reporting, journalist ethics, right? So as long as my news director said it was okay to go, I would go. But then I did feel guilty, being in some of these places with people that had different political beliefs than me. It's super interesting just how we hold ourselves accountable. And my moral ethics are different than yours, and your news reporting ethics are different than mine. So.
Yeah. Somebody's highlighting a thing on the chat here. it's hard for me to make sense of things people are sending me. I guess there's all these people in the chat over on Rumble asking about some song, and the Angie song.
The anti-Angie song?
Or just
I don't know anything about it.
Please showcase Angie's song that she wrote a couple months ago about Roger that's involved with the ostriches. So they're going on about that over there, I guess. What's this one? Sorry. No, that's somebody. I can't. When this stuff is sent to me, I don't know.
I can speak to this. I haven't had anything to do with that individual, I think, for about 6 weeks now. Neither has us.
Who?
This gentleman that you just said.
Roger?
And so, yeah.
Whoever that is.
An individual on TikTok. I wish him well,
okay. Mm-hmm.
but just leave it at that.
What else we got going on over here? It's active over there.
Well, what happened is a lovely lady posted information it's called the Universal Ostrich Exposed group, and she called you and I down a couple of days ago, and I believe she's the one who sent you the email the other day that said she didn't like you, she didn't like me because we're both MAGA promoters. I was like, how the hell am I have a Canadian tattoo on the back of my neck, kids, but anyways. And so they said that they weren't going to share information about me or about you, but obviously they did, because numerous people shared that information to me. So by the way, your group is not as closed off as you want. Actually some locals have been sending me information. So
what was what is it about our group? We got trolls. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's all drama, man. I don't, you know, the thing is,
every time we talk about them.
Yeah. I don't really, I dip into the chat like I'm kind of doing now to just read things once or twice, maybe, hopefully, during a program to just pull some comments and give people a chance to share, contribute. But I don't spend a lot of time in there, and I try to stay out of it. And that's why I've got the mods. Because with all of the craziness that's going on over there and on the drama, I've had to just detach myself from it and trust my moderators to decide what stays, what goes, what rules to enforce. That in itself is part of the experiment, actually. But that when people are getting banned, they're phoning me up and they're saying, you have to unban me. And I'm like, I am not unbanning you. I'm treating everybody the same. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. I don't have the time to do the program and then read everything in the chat and make sense of who's saying what to whom, who's fighting with whom, why is this said, what's the context of that, and then pass some sort of a judgment on things when I may not have the full context and don't even know the backstory. I can easily make a bad decision. So I have to rely on at least a couple of people who can look at the stuff in real time or hopefully close to real time. And if things are getting out of hand, then I have to trust them to make good decisions and back them up. I cannot, I'm sorry, but I've had people crying on the phone in the last couple of weeks because they got their ass banned over on Rumble. And I'm like, well, don't cry about it. It's like, it's not the end of the world if you're banned on my chat, like for the third time. I don't know why you let yourself get like that. But this is the thing. This is part of the experiment. And then it's because, are the moderators going too far? Are the rules fair? But I'm trying to provide a very wide, give them a wide latitude to do what they need to do to keep things civil over there, because I just don't know. And then when this stuff is going down, and of course, you have people who don't like you. I've had people sending me stuff about you, trying to get me to not like you, which is how the program started. Like, can I trust you? People are sending you stuff. You can't trust me. People are sending me stuff about Bridget. You can't trust her. It doesn't matter who comes on here. People are like, you shouldn't be talking to that person. And if you talk to that person, then you're guilty by association. And therefore you're part of the evil cabal that's trying to destroy the world, or whatever freaking thing it is. So I have to just push that aside to a degree, I have to confess, it makes me a little bit paranoid, right? But I have to take that and just put it right there, focus on what's real, focus on what's happening with my interaction with people on a one-on-one basis, and judge the individual. And that's it. Now, and hopefully everything works out. So it leaves me vulnerable because I do talk to people, all people, including some people who do come here with an intent to hurt me, hurt the channel. And it's the same thing with you. So I empathize with you. I get it, man. And so I don't know what's going on over there in the chat, but of course there are people over there who are trying to kick you in the groin.
I think the one thing that they need to recognize, and you don't have to like me, you don't have to believe me. I'm okay to agree to disagree. But I think what's so interesting is because of some of these individuals, I came to you to say, hey, the locals in Edgewood need a voice.
Yeah.
My TikTok lives have been hijacked and they can complain about it. So I needed a safe space, like to host them. And did anyone else do that? Did anyone else go and ask the locals? Like, not that I know of. I know CTV did, or pardon me, not CTV, CBC and Global did. I organized the one interview for Global Okanagan. Did they previously? Yes, they did. And so that's one thing. Another cohort of mine said, he's like, you're the only one that brought that there. So these people, you know, I wish them well. I just don't wish them around me. That's all I got to say about that.
So, you know, your approach to media and being an influencer is somewhat different than mine. I've kind of tried to, I felt like I was getting too far into things where there was too much editorializing, not just verbally, but through action. And so I've pulled it back and I've tried to pull it over back here into old school journalism, because that's where I think the integrity is, right? The old school ethics. And I'm trying to get back to that while still participating in new form media. It's a balancing act. Now you're doing it in your way. And, you know, even last night, we were talking to Matt Venn, who has been on the program, and he's been a political activist. And he is now getting into politics. I didn't know until last night when I was on your live stream that he is going to run for political office. But who's he running for? Is he independent?
He
don't know.
He hasn't made that decision yet. That was just a conversation. It's just what a couple of us have suggested is that if you're really upset with the government, like, number one, quit calling them down and say we need a revolution. That is BS. You need to get into it. You need to make your voice heard, and you need to create change. And so I honestly just met Matt maybe 2 months ago via TikTok. And so we've been encouraging him. There's another individual, Rob, he's from Alberta, and he's running. He's like, okay, I've had enough. So we've just been encouraging people to create the change. If you don't like what's going on, we're not overthrowing governments. Like, that's BS. Like, it's a fair election. Get behind it. Like, that's, I'm pro-election. I have voted for both sides of the fence. I truly admit that. At the same time, like, if you can't beat them, you got to join them. Go in there and find out why it doesn't work. And the kind of the idea behind Matt, Rob, and other independents running is if there's enough independents in there, they actually can hold the power. And like in BC, we've had that. We've had two Green Party that hold the power for our legislature, right? So, and you can see how many times the Quebecois have held the power in, you know, in our federal chambers. So that's kind of where that is. And yeah, Matt just talked about it last night. Did you get the picture? Apparently he went clothing shopping and he wore a suit, and it's kind of a big deal. So I know that Pat King's partner Sophie was encouraging him, and he was in a thrift shop and she was helping him. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I haven't seen an email come out with his picture. I told him last night that we would that I would put his picture up if he sent a picture of himself in his new suit. I've never seen him in a suit in my life.
Well,
Well,
apparently
in a few years that
his
I've been
parents
aware.
haven't either, because they were in tears last night from the sound of it. He was sharing that with us. So, but it's just another person. He was involved in the convoy, and
Mhm.
my thing is as a former journalist reporter, I was going to mention this too, is when I even was in sales in the media, I would not share who I was voting for or whatever. I remember
Mhm.
a fella who was in the media as well was running for the mayor's chair, and he asked if I could publicly support him, and I actually said no, because at that time I didn't think it was right. I didn't think it was ethical. I didn't think that a person that had a voice in her hometown or others surrounding areas should speak out and support elections. That's how I used to feel. Now it's way different. I a couple of years ago I actually supported the Green Party, the NDP, sorry, and the Liberals. I feel like there was one more, Independent or something, because my cousin ran for NDP in one area. My good family friend ran for the Liberals in the North Okanagan. A friend of mine ran for the Green Party, and they all bought advertising from me. So I actually shared all of the information because they are good freaking people. Do I completely agree with any one party? Obviously not. I don't think anyone does, but I believe I sit in the middle. I definitely can be swayed at times for certain things, but that's another ethics thing that I personally did. I wouldn't share who I was voting for with anyone. I talked to my dad at the time, and that was it.
Yeah. So do you think you stayed on the right side of the line with what you said to Matt? Or like I noticed you said you suggested. Um, I think last night you even indicated you gave him advice on, his appearance and whether he should shave his beard or put his put the suit on. So I won't give an opinion here at this point, but I'm just curious. Do you think it is appropriate to? And I will give you my opinion after.
Yeah, do it.
I hear from hear what you say about it. Do you think it's appropriate for you to provide advice like that or guidance to someone who is seeking public office now, not just an activist?
I'm okay with it. I know other people
Yeah.
might disagree with it.
Hmm.
I'm always for supporting people. Like, I tell this story. There was years ago, there was a prison essentially going to be built in my hometown, and it's actually got built in the South Okanagan. The whole entire community was up in arms for it or against it, and I had some friends I've known all my life that were really against it. At the time, I was for it. I thought it was a good investment. It would bring great jobs. Everyone was scared that people would break out of a minimum security provincial jail, and they would bring all of their degenerate families to town, and it was just really ugly. And so at the time, I completely disagreed with them, and I helped them. I called them up and said, "Look, don't go on the radio like that anymore. This is what you want to say. Let's craft a thing." Because I still, even though I disagree with some people, I still want them to do the best they can.
Yeah.
So, and that might be a journalism thing, that might be a moral thing, it might be because I'm a Libra, but I don't want people to look like freaking idiots that are from my hometown that look like they're burning everyone, and sitting on their roof with a pitchfork.
And
So
so I
there's
see, yeah, and I see what you're doing, like in Edgewood around the ostrich farm, is there's a degree of activism there because you're helping one a side of it being the local residents get their voice out. So by doing that, you're involved and providing advice again.
Mhm.
Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
I've said from the get-go that I am biased. My heart lies with the folks in Edgewood as well as the wildlife. I have said that from the get-go.
Mhm.
And so that's where I think you and I are different in this. I do give my opinion. I try to say the facts that I am biased. It's kind of funny because someone wrote in here that I don't speak for the folks of Edgewood, and I've said that numerous times. I do not speak for them.
Mhm.
I can tell you that there's some that don't like me that do correct me if I say someone's name wrong locally, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I had a journalism prof say to me when I was having a debate when I was real young and green and wet behind the ears, and he said, "Okay, well, it's fine that you don't take a donut when you're at a news conference. That's you, but don't judge everybody else who does." And I was like, I don't know, like I think they're compromised, and I was a real stickler, as someone around here the last few days been using that word. And yeah, I was a real stickler for rules and ethics. But yeah, I realized he was right, because you have to loosen up a little bit, and you have to say, well, okay, that's I can flex on that a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ate a donut. Do you want to condemn them for the rest of their lives? It's like it's a donut. And I think there's just, I guess you could put it down to everybody has their price, which is part of the question revolving around me right now, because I'm on trial here in a way, put on trial by someone that put some money into the Rumble rants, thereby forcing a review of me, my actions, my ethics. When I've said, I don't really want your money. And then he started donating, not just to, well, I think to insult me, frankly, in a way, and to do this very thing, to generate this conversation. And he wants me to do it in a public way. And he even said, why don't you have your viewers decide what you should do with that money? And so we're going to do that here. I'm going to do that. We were going to do part of that tonight, but we'll do it, really in fuller form tomorrow, which is also why I want Bridget here, because it's that same question that was before me with that really was before me with the proofreading of the book. What do I take? What am I entitled to? Am I allowed to earn a living? And it was interesting, in our conversation on your program last night, there was one gentleman there. I don't remember who his name was, but he said, I think he was a politician. And he said that if he would like to make a change so that any politician would not be allowed to make any more money than what they earn than what they get from their salary as a member of parliament.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to that and I'm like, holy shit. Like, that means that they can't invest. They can't have mutual funds. They can't have a retirement fund. They can't make any money on the stock market. They can't do, like you and I, like, you have to have a retirement fund, right? So you're putting money aside, you're saving for a rainy day, you leave it with the bank, maybe an investment company or something, so they can manage your assets. And so when you do retire, when you get old and frail like me, then you can not die of starvation in the streets. But like, that attitude, that sounds good, maybe even plays well to voters. Yeah, screw that. They can't, these politicians, they're so corrupt. We have to make sure that they can't, if they get any money, they can't invest it in anything. They just have to have what they earn as an MP and not a penny more. But you're not going to attract any good talent or smart people at that point. This is the part of the issue that I have with this, the people hammering on Carney. It's like, he's got stock in this company, he's got stock in that. Yeah, no kidding, man. The guy is freaking smart. He's an economist. But he's been scrutinized, reviewed to make sure that he hasn't done anything corrupt. He's had to take all of his investments and put them in a trust, right? Where it's all arm's length so that he's in compliance with all the rules. And those rules are there to prevent corruption. And they say it's still not good enough because he knows what's in it. Like, but how the hell are you supposed to attract anybody smart? Like, how are you going to get an economist of that level to ever, and I'm not just defending Carney, but this goes to every prime minister, a president, whomever. You have to, why would they do it? Why would anybody in their right mind take the job if they had to divest their entire retirement fund that they built up over decades of hard work that they've earned, and then just turn it all into cash or something and just put it in the bank? Even there, you could say that there's corruption because they're earning interest in a savings account. And so they'll pass legislation that will make sure that they get maximum return on the interest rate that they're getting in their savings account. There's no way to escape it. That kind of criticism, and so it's not. It's there's the dilemma, and so what am I? Is Mark Carney supposed to live the life of a pauper in order to serve, where he's going to take a job where people every day say that he's scum and, linked to Epstein or something. And then over here too, it's like, well, you're a journalist. You aren't allowed to make any money. You have to starve. So there's a balance there, right? And I'll throw it to you for your thoughts.
I think it's kind of in relation to how many American politicians have made a gregarious, ginormous, outstanding amount of money. And, they get bought out, and all of a sudden you can see, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen in Canada, because for sure it does, because I've seen other developers come into politics for one term, and then they just want to know how to do it. As municipal, same thing happened. An industrial owner came on and went to council, then went to mayor, found all the scoops and everything, and then became a huge developer, because they knew everyone then, right? So it's hard to say, but also too, if we take things back to all of this, to news media, to large birds from Africa, this is all about relationship, in my opinion. You get good stories and you built a relationship with Bridget, right? This is about relationship.
About trust. I have to trust her. She has to trust me. You have to trust me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on here if there wasn't some trust. But you violate that trust, now we've got a problem, right? And vice versa.
And so, to be transparent, each time I've had locals on here, I have locals messaging me. I have, some people that used to facilitate the exposed group. I also had the TikTok going. And so what was happening is these people they don't like me. They call me every name in the book. They've made up 2 fake accounts for me. So congratulations, you guys, but please make my makeup look a little bit better next time. They call me down completely in the chats and then demand that I ask you those questions. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not going to. They have been unkind. Some of them have been reported. And I'll level with you.
Yeah.
There's actually a police file open on one because of threats. And the funny thing is they're telling me there's no threats. Well, there's no threats to you currently, but there has been to me, so much so that TikTok has taken an account down. And also I had to open up a police file. So that's what's happening with me. They've lost trust with me, and I choose not to have a relationship with them.
Yeah. So they took a TikTok account down because of
threats made to me.
Threats made to you. Yeah. And there must be some credibility behind that, because they wouldn't take it down otherwise. So,
and I'll tell you this, TikTok is loosey-goosey, man. You can do a lot of crap on there, because there's, speaking of Pat King earlier, or did we speak of Pat King? Anyways, his partner Sophie has a horrible fake account on her. I have 2 fake accounts on me, and they don't do a thing about it. And those are pictures of me and of her. Hers has went way deeper.
Don't I have any fake accounts? Does anybody know if I have any? I'm left out.
We're going to definitely make one up right after this for you.
Thank you. I need it.
But I think the thing is, and I actually had a really good giggle about it, because you have to think of the SNL thing where it's all flattery. I'm renting space in their minds, and I'm not paying a damn thing.
And see, I can tell you're attracting some wicked people, because I see all these people getting banned tonight or timed out or something. I can see the grayed out things. So I don't know what's going on in there. I can't see those messages, but something bad's happening in the chat there tonight.
Well, and the interesting thing is, then I have another group of people that, by the way, does include some locals that are going in there trying to defend me. And so what I did I never said anything for a month. I didn't say anything to anyone, not to one of my best friends either, who I brought on TikTok for this whole bird ordeal. And then they were saying I was lying. Well, if I'm lying, why did a TikTok account get banned? And why am I talking to the police? And it's come to criminal harassment, unfortunately. And can I take a joke? Yep. The people are asking why I won't talk to people. Well, I choose not to. I've moved past. I've had to block some people, and I don't need to talk to you. I'm sorry, I don't know why you're so invested in me. Like, get a new hobby.
Well, just to backtrack a little bit, I don't really have a big issue with what you do, at least from what I've seen that you do, helping the locals. I don't think that you've been practicing, real, like necessarily what you would describe as traditional journalism. You're a live
Not at
streamer,
all.
podcaster. You're doing your own thing, and it is what it is. And you're not, I don't think you're trying to present yourself as some, hardcore,
perfectionist. I'd say former
adhering,
reporter.
yeah.
Former reporter. The
So you're
last
just
radio
on there.
station I was on was
And you're involved in your community, and you're just advising people, helping them get their voice out, and you have your opinions. So I don't view you as like a news reporter. You're this freewheeling live streamer, political, community oriented person, and you're doing what you think is best for your community. I think that's where you're at. Is that kind of fair?
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not from Edgewood. I'm a summertime resident there. I am a community organizer. I've called myself that probably for 32 years because I've done a lot of community things.
Yeah.
I used to host, of all the things, mud bog races, 18 inches of mud with frickin' tractor tires and the biggest mud pits you'd ever seen. I did those for years. I've hosted bull bashes. I still have a barn dance. I help out Lumbee Days. I help. There was a bottle drive on the weekend in Lumbee, and anything in Edgewood, if I see it, they have an annual fishing derby. I share that all over the groups as well. So yeah, if you don't like a community oriented person, you probably wouldn't like me.
When you work in radio, you get involved in community things. That's part of what being in radio is about, because the radio station, a local radio station, is about the local community. It's about promoting local. I mean, even there, right? So there's an example, and that's probably why you have the you're taking the approach you're taking. It's because even in radio, it's not completely unbiased. You're trying to build up your community in a positive way. The radio station gets involved in charity work. They always promote, the Red Cross blood drive. They promote the food bank. We did radio it in television too, right?
Yeah.
It's
totally.
like
you have to. It's part of your job.
Right. And it's kind of an obligation, because the community provides all the support for the station, and then the station is really there to provide support back, and it becomes one of the pillars that helps support the community. It becomes the voice of the community. It's a reflection of the community, and it influences the community as well. So that's what a local radio station is, local TV too, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone down to the local food bank to do interviews, and it's getting to be Christmas time, and or a toy drive, right? To help get the message out, to get the donations up, to make sure that people are taken care of. And that's an obligation that comes with, having a broadcast license from the CRTC. Those are rules, right? It's a promise of performance as well, to make sure that you follow all these rules, that you provide a service to the community. That's one of the things that's changed. Broadcasters are given licenses because there are only so many frequencies on the radio band. And so you can't just let anybody set up a radio station like I did when I was a kid. I had a pirate radio station back there in the corner, right? But I was like 12 or something. So, because I so badly wanted to do this stuff. So, but you get a license, and with that license, there are responsibilities. There's what they call a promise of performance, which is to say, you better serve your community well and do positive things, or we're going to yank your license.
Totally.
Right? So there are rules. And
35% CanCon. You have to be connected to the community, which, by the way, the connection to the community part, news every so often, all of that has went out the window. So that shows you the value that the public has on news. It's not needed anymore. That's why all those news directors got let go 15 years ago.
except
Right?
that it is needed. It's just not being provided, not in a way that is
In an
really
ethical,
serving the
moral
public well.
way.
And the reason it's not being provided is because of the internet, and it's a free for all. You just don't have the standards anymore. And it's become so bad that it's difficult even for a local radio station or television station to come up with enough revenue to pay a reporter to go down to the local food bank and do a story to help make sure that, it gets done at a time of need. And that's because you've got people out there who, like, they're not journalists, or maybe they are, maybe they're serving people, maybe they aren't, but the people who are kind of lying or just exaggerating to get clicks and so on, they get the views, they build their channels to hundreds of thousands, and then they scoop up the clicks, and like, it's a real problem, and we're wading through it. And then every time there's an effort made to sort of provide a backstop for what has been a traditional approach to media to make sure that those community needs are met, it's like, censorship or overregulation, government overreach. Well, yeah, there's a balance, and I'm not sure what the answer is to all of this, but people, I don't think, really view it well, because you have so many people out there saying, defund this and get rid of that, and we don't need that, and you can't trust this. And it's become really bad since the pandemic, because the mainstream media did engage in some activity that they say that they lied, and just one more point, and then I'm going to throw it back to you. They did kind of lie, but they were trapped by a systemic problem where the news media, it's not so much that they lied, it's that they had to go to people in positions of authority with credibility in order to do their jobs properly. And it was those people who violated the public trust by just creating a narrative around a treatment or an injection that had not been thoroughly tested, and therefore didn't yet deserve public trust. But they told you could trust it. And that is why trust, not only in our medical system, in our government, but also our media institutions, has eroded, because it was a huge mistake. It was a public health policy decision. It was a political decision, and it filtered through the media because the people in positions of authority and trust abused those positions in order to push mandates and a particular position for various reasons. And people, I think, have to we need to get find some way to get a balanced perspective on that into people's heads again, so that they don't have such extreme views, so we can restore the trust. And there needs to be an apology or an acknowledgement or something to get us back.
But I think also, too, even when you're saying this, Rick, there's a lot of individuals that believe the vaccines were good. It was good for them because some people have severe health issues. I met a gal on here who is excellent at advocating for people with compromised immune systems. Her name is Senna. Hopefully that's okay. I say that to her, but she is proud. She has went toe to toe with some of the strongest conservatives, and they have acknowledged the fact that they had no idea what she goes through. Like, even I laugh and I share it with my really harsh conservative friends. I had to wear a mask all week. We have multiple viruses going on, and I'm the one who goes in and cleans things because I'm kind of OCD when it comes to germs and such. And I have a little formula that I create that I bring from home that I spray on everything to get rid of everything. So as everyone who thinks I'm like a maple MAGA, I'm a proud frickin' mask wearer. So that should show you something right there. But I think also when we're talking about stories, and we have to be conscious on, we're talking about Venezuela so much. And I think that you talk about Venezuela because you want everyone to wake up and say, hey, be aware, Mexico, Canada, Greenland could be next if he's infiltrated them. And so I think it's good to have these conversations and awarenesses, but it also brings it back, like, does it really affect us? So what? Famous words of your son this past week.
Yeah.
But also too, I think that, and this is a challenge that I've brought up through this whole entire large bird ordeal, is, I'm not there. I live 2 hours and 15 minutes away. I feel for the locals. I wanted them to have a voice. Where my concern is these, I call them my fan club. The majority of these people, they live in Ontario. Are they going to come out to Edgewood? Are they going to come out to the Canada Day event? Are they going to come out to the market that's there every Saturday in the summer? Probably not. And yet we are taking what they say valid. I know I put my neck on the line speaking out. The concerning part I have in all of this that has to do with me is this is from people that allegedly are against the farm. So they're not pro-farm people. The pro-farm people, I've had a couple of conversations with them that some have been really harsh, some have been heated. These people judge me because I'm not harsh enough on some of them. That's not my behavior. That's not who I am. And so my concern is we have a group of people from Ontario that their word matters more than the locals. I disagree. As a former member of the media, as a former reporter and journalist, as a summertime resident of Edgewood, no offense, but when you live in Ontario, I don't give a flying frick what you say over the people and the locals in Edgewood. And I think that's really where this all comes to head. Like, you and I are talking about international news and Trump and all these things. Even the whole ordeal in Minnesota, it matters to them. We're getting all hijacked for it because that makes us feel like we're right or we're wrong or we're being punished or whatever. You know what? It's the same thing. So what?
I disagree. It's because it isn't so what. It's so what with the bird thing, because that has become just a circus, and it's so what because it is just chaos, and that is the objective. So now we know it's chaos. So now it's just like, okay, well, so what? The birds are dead. It's over. But it continues. This discussion continues. But it like because the bird thing, I've said all along, it's never been about the birds. It's about politics. It's about all these other issues. And so that's why it's still alive. So but you're right in that the locals have been impacted in a significant way that is important to them, and they deserve a voice. And so that element of it needs to have attention focused on it, because there's a specific and egregious wrong that I think was done. And so they need their concerns addressed. That's true. Done. Okay.
Yes.
It probably needs more. But there's also a national impact that it's had. It's related to all these other issues. So when I say so what, I mean, I don't really care to dig into, honestly, the fighting between the people. This guy doesn't like that guy. This person says, they made a video about you, or they're putting this crap up there, or they're attacking me like you're an ostrich hater, you're a communist, or whatever the crap is that they're spewing about me today. Or maybe tomorrow they'll make a channel about me, just like they've done with you, right? A fake account or whatever. That's the mistake. That's the so what. Go ahead, man. I just don't give a crap, because you're just trying to engage me so that I'm wasting my time dealing with that, because all I'm doing there is I'm dealing with the little stuff that once that's resolved, that's a little tiny fire. I'm putting that out there. What I need to do is focus on the source, the fuel source that's causing the fire to continue to burn. That's not so what. And all of the things behind that are related to that fire, and where's that fuel source coming from, and what's the result of this. So that's all the politics. That's the money that's being dumped into the chat, because that is about the information war. That's about controlling media. That's a larger issue, which, if you think about it, when I'm talking about that now, I'm not talking about the bird farm. I'm talking about 51st State. I'm talking about trying to convince people to move to Texas. I'm talking about the politics of negativity, which our guest has been engaged in ad nauseum on this program twice, crapping all over the country, and that circles right back to Donald Trump flipping the bird to Americans and sharing memes of him flying a fighter jet crapping all over Americans, and having half the country applaud while the other half is appalled. And that's how it all ties together. And it's a significant thing. But that's why I'm focused not on, when I'm talking about this stuff and all the money that was dumped in and those discussions that we've had and the media. I don't give a damn is with all the petty stuff going on with the bird place. I am worried about the other politics surrounding all of it, because that's what it was really all about. And those are the things we do need to be concerned about, because we do have a dude in the White House who wants to take over our country, even though some people are still pretending like it's not happening, because I think they find it so frightening.
I think we have to acknowledge the fact, though, that, all of this stuff, whoever's texting you, why don't you just get them to come on up here and we'll have a conversation with them?
No, I get it every night. It's just constant. It's like, it doesn't matter who's on. It's just what happens.
I think,
and it's a bunch of people. It's not one person.
It doesn't start out as politics, though. If the convoy didn't start out with funding from political people behind it, it ended up that way. It's almost like I'm so tempted to call out a politician right now, but I won't. People find, like, if depending on whatever it is, it's either leaning left, it's leaning right, and whoever is attached to that, they're going to get their 5 minutes of fame. They're going to roll with that and keep chatting about it. I think, after COVID, there's a true anti-government, break the establishment sentiment that I haven't heard before. And I've been interested in politics since the very first time my dad took me to go and vote. Mm-hmm. I understand, and this is the difference between me and other people. I understand and I empathize, I shouldn't say empathize, sympathize with people's political beliefs. And I honor the fact that I believe everyone should be able to protest and complain about the government anytime, anywhere, within reason. Not a fan of hate speech, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I'm concerned where people get popular by jumping on and creating more of it as a political thing. And so just to give me a little side note, there's a lot of my fan group, I'll call them, that think I want my 15 minutes of fame. I have to tell you, 10 years ago, I was one of the most famous people in the Okanagan. Won a national contest for my hometown. We won $100,000. We won an NHL hockey game. We ended up taking that money. I would say we bet it on black. We got gas tax, actually, to the tune of $3 million, and we improved our arena so that girls had a decent and adequate change room in our local arena. Super proud of that. When you have like little wishes on the, a vision board, that was one of my things to make my hometown famous. I thought I was going to make my hometown famous by having like the biggest country music artist ever come there, but having, the NHL come there is top notch. And so people think that I need this attention. I don't. my media days honestly are behind me. I enjoy having these conversations. I love talking politics with people. I love having conversations with people that completely disagree with me. In fact, for all of those who think I'm not a reporter, I actually have my old vice president of broadcasting that's going to have a conversation with me. So we're going to, and he's absolutely on the other side of the spectrum than me politically, but I value him. He was one of my greatest mentors. He treated me really rough at times. And he's a person I'll always admire. I think those conversations are really important. And, I bring up Charlie Kirk, and I understand when people get upset when I bring him up. But if you watch, there's a conversation he has with a bunch of young women who are on OnlyFans. I challenge those people that hate Charlie Kirk to watch that. He is so respectful to these women. He wishes more for them. He is calm and cool and collected. Yes, he says some spicy things, and I don't agree with him on all things, but there's some things I do agree with. He has his faith, and he
Was that
believes
the
whatever.
video where he was talking to the porn stars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like I found it interesting. I found him very respectful, but there's also other times where he's a dirtbag and he's just yelling, things back and forth. But I think we need to have those conversations. What I always share is that when Trump came down that escalator to say that he was going to be running for president, I heard recently that the reason he did that is his ratings were crap on The Apprentice, and that Gwen Stefani was doing something. I don't know if she was on The Voice or American Idol or something, and that he wanted to get more ratings. And so that's a reason they think he did that. And I just remember all of this craziness came out. And what I found is that people have been suppressing their opinions for so long because we have to be so politically correct, that I personally did not know how many haters and white supremacists and all of these Nazi sympathizers and all. I had no idea that all of this existed because everyone has been shutting these down and they've went underground. Do I want all that to happen? No, but I want to know about them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want them. I don't want anyone to hate any race or LGBTQ plus. I don't like, let's all get along. I'm not saying you need to hold hands and sing kumbaya, but I think we need to have these conversations to find out why people think differently than us, why cultures are different. I always say, for the longest time, I have a challenging neighbor. I was the only white person in my house for about 5 years. And he came outside one day and he said the N-word. Mm-hmm. You have to know, the redneck trucker's daughter came unglued on that gentleman. And I put him in his place. He was kind for about 7 years. But I think we have to stand up for things that we disagree with. And I'm okay that this fan group of mine disagree with me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what they think. It matters what the locals that have trusted me to share the story think. It matters what Lois thinks. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. So you say, why, so I'll say this. Okay. You're saying I should bring the person, but it's people who are texting me, making my phone bing. I could. I don't know if you really want me to. I'm not sure I want to, because I never know what the hell I'm going to get. I
as long as they put their legal name up there and their real picture, why not?
Yeah. Because people are sending me links to this video they want me to show. And I'm just going to be straight. This is not where I thought this was going to go at all tonight. And I don't want to put you on trial. It was honestly, you know what tonight and was supposed to be, it was really more about putting me on trial because of that money coming into the chat and because of my work with Bridget. And then I was hoping that would expand into a broader review of where we're at with media and influence, the influence of money, political influence on social media streamers to help people become more media savvy and aware so that they can recognize bias when it's out there. Right. So that's really what the intention of this was about. So I don't have to run this. Hang on.
So here, this is my suggestion.
Yeah.
If it's someone from Edgewood or the Arrow Lakes
I
area,
don't know who it is. I've got a phone number, but I don't know who it is who sent me this
Yeah.
stuff. It's a song. I don't know. And there's several videos they want me to run, but I mean, whatever.
well, they can host their own podcast. Like that's what I have people telling me here right now.
Mhm.
They're upset that I didn't give them a space on mine. It was my channel. It was my conversations. I invited people up. They are more than welcome to build relationship and have those conversations. No one's holding them back. My gosh.
So I'm going to go to the chat and see what people are saying. I want feedback. Since this is new media, I want feedback from the chat. What I don't know what to do here, other than I could just ignore it, which may be the wisest thing to do. But any suggestions? There are a couple of people in here that I really do value their opinions on stuff. Other people.
Well, I think I might be able to diffuse this because I was having a challenge with an individual who did not like me and another person. She's on the opposite side of the political spectrum of me. And this individual would constantly come up and say things about me. And then what I did behind the scenes, had a conversation and said, hey, you know what? My suggestion is just to unplug, get some self-care and relax. Did I say some nasty things about the individual? Yeah, because I ended up finding out there was like multiple stories about me and another individual on their TikTok. And so I backed off of it like 6 weeks ago. We went on a live, we apologized, we said, is there anything we can do? And that individual said no. And so we wished him well, we had to block him. And that, was I unkind? Yep, I was. Do I wish I would not have done a couple of those things? Absolutely. I feel bad? I do. Am I embarrassed? Do I have some shame? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because all that information, I shouldn't say all of it, a bit of that information was in a private chat. And some people got excited and shared some private informations and conversations. And here's the wild thing about all that. This is the difference between me and them. And I am on trial here now. I get that.
I didn't want that.
No, I'm okay with it. I have a boatload of information from multiple people who are attacking me right now. Not once have I ever made a video. Not once have I shared things. Not once have I like leaked information on their messages. And one person was so insecure about it, they went through our conversations and they deleted it all because they didn't want to share that. And I didn't know what was going on at the time. So if I can say anything, I'm not perfect. You know, all I was trying to do is help some, you know, family, friends, and people I really care about have their voice. And I've done that. And so if I've offended anyone, I apologize. But for all of you that live in Ontario that are coming after me, let me know which day you'll be in Edgewood and I'll happily take the day off work and I'll come and have tea with you there. Apparently I get a free ice cream at the ice cream stand, so I'll share that with you. So that, if you want to talk about ethics, Rick, I get free freaking ice cream from the trailer in Edgewood. So I'm bought out right there.
Now you're compromised. So I don't know, man. You see, we don't allow links anymore in the chat. There's a reason for that. I don't need to get into all the reasons, but yeah. Play it, chat wants it. That's what somebody's saying.
So if it's someone else's song though, and it's not their song.
I don't know what, honestly, I've never heard it. Don't know what they're talking about. So Coral Cat on TikTok.
Coral Cat. Interesting. She lives in Ontario too.
Somebody sent him. I don't know who that is. I don't know. It's all fake names, which I don't like.
That's the difference, is everyone can hide. And I wasn't silly enough. I've had my own name on my TikTok for however long I've had it for. And that's the difference, because I put my face to my name. I put my actual name up there.
Yeah, me too.
And all of these yin yangs don't have to.
Yeah, I guess they don't have to. They probably should. I've thought for a while that social media should be a place where people have to reveal their true identity or stay out because of this very reason.
The issue of that now is now you can have a nickname. So you can go ahead, you can be anonymous or you can have a nickname. And like, I actually banned anonymous posts in a couple of groups that I have. And if people want, someone else to post it, then grab someone else to post it. But yeah, and that's where the libel and slander and stuff and criminal harassment can come up too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I'm sorry for anyone I've offended. I realize that some locals, and they've told me this, they just want all this stuff to die, and I honor that. And so I'm making my best effort to not bring it up, but people that don't live in the
Well, I wouldn't say that. We've been bringing it up because some of them wanted us to bring it up, and that's why this all started, right? To give them a voice. So I get it.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but the thing is they're not from Edgewood. If someone's there from Edgewood,
well, these people, I guess, I don't know. Probably, yeah.
They're not from Edgewood.
It's because it's a big political thing, and so there are people from all over the place. But I'm not from Edgewood. I'm out here from Ontario area myself.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's the concern, is that people are creating stuff, and I level with you. I think I talked about it before. I'm ready to put it behind us.
Yeah, that's true. I was too, like a year ago. It won't go away, but I keep coming back to it. It's my own damn fault in a way, but I think it's a legitimate story, and we need to. I think we're still at a point where it sort of needs attention, but I want to focus on the things that have come from it, not focus on that because it's over. Speaking of which, so I don't know. Run it, not run it. People in the chat, I wouldn't even normally entertain it. It's just that there's this overwhelming thing going on in the chat where they're like, play this video. These videos, I guess. I don't know. But I like you, and I don't want to screw you, and I didn't want to do this tonight. Why don't you guys do something to hate on me? Or I don't even know if they're hating on you, honestly.
Why don't they do something? Why don't they donate to the Edgewood Community Club or the fire department or PALS? So instead of making a 12-minute video of me and cutting and pasting a bunch of stuff, why don't you do something good? Put your grief to good. We need to have a therapist on here.
I've been that. I'm kind of like I'm not a bartender, but the online podcast equivalent sometimes, I think. So I'll give this some more contemplation. Angie doesn't want it played. Ask yourself why. Is Angie in Edgewood? No, I guess, well, sort of. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm 2.5 hours away. I live in the central Okanagan. I'm a summertime resident. I'm currently not in Edgewood. Mm-hmm. I'm only there for the summer months, 6 months of the year.
Now my mod's getting clubbed on the head. See, it just spills over into play the video. No, he's considering it. Get him to play it. Calm down. I have asterisk to play it.
And then I have people sharing that says, Angie, we're behind you. Don't know what the video is.
I have no idea what it is either.
Rick is deciding on it. So I have my own personal group.
Is it bad? Like,
yeah, I'm not proud of it.
What happens if I play it? No, this is terrible.
The haters win. So here's the thing. So what's happened over the last 48 hours is a bunch of locals, Lumbee people have all been booted out of this group that I was actually promoting that was exposing what was going on at the farm. Mm-hmm. So what I've had to had happen over the past 72 hours, even more than that, is people have been trying to reach out to the organizers and say, hey, can we have a voice too? We're concerned. And also too, there's people that support the farm. There's people that don't. There's people that support me. There's people that don't. But at the end of the day, like, my voice doesn't even matter. It's what the Edgewood locals want. And the Edgewood locals, my understanding is they want this put to bed. So let's put it to bed, kids.
Well, this is a very interesting exercise in new media.
Ask them how long they've been watching the Rick Walker Maverick News Show.
Okay. How long have you been watching this crazy program with this wild and crazy host?
You should be able to see by their email how long they've been on Rumble, at least, right?
Why is it relevant? Because you're just trying to find out who's new and who's old?
Well, I'm just saying, if it's your actual Maverick watchers, and it's hard to discern from that, right? But if it's also was promoted today to come after you and I in this program in the exposed group. So,
so let me ask you this: the video.
So I don't know what video it is, but
I don't know. There are 3 that people have sent me. I haven't looked at them, but are they accurate, or are they?
I have
edited
no idea.
So that they're out of context.
I don't know which videos they are. They could be the ones that a certain individual has created of me. That's cut and pasted stuff that I've said on actual interviews and that. So they're trying to make people not like me. And I'm okay because they live in Ontario. No offense, Rick.
None taken.
Allegedly taking a media or a legal course. And yet choosing to harass me. It's weird.
Well, like I say, welcome to the club. Goes on here all night, every night. In the haters channel. Here, look. I don't know. I'm not going to pay any attention to them. They've got a voice, and they're public, and they're in there every night.
Well, I think that we should probably share this now. So if we look for Chiak Bare Knuckles and a couple of other...
Chiak. He's the guy who I heard on Rudy Bruce's broadcast the one night. What's your name? My name is Chiak. And then Rudy, who had a few too many, said, your name is Chiak. I'm like, oh man.
So anyways, what's happening?
Chiak. He made that freaking name up, I think.
Is Chiak is asked us to create, and along with a couple other people, to create a safer space for those that want information about the farm, because we have been kicked out of the exposed group. So just watch for that, because we will be making a new group. Not me, but we. And
all right,
for people that want information,
how bad can it be, Angie? Like, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't play it?
No, because you should always listen to something first, right? And I honestly don't know what it is. It's probably 12 minutes.
No, it's not. I think these are short things, I think.
Yeah. Why don't we just take a break and you can have a listen to it?
Okay, I can do that. And I may not make a decision when we come back on what we should do here. This is, God, I so don't want to be doing this right now.
What would you like to be doing, Rick?
Oh, anything else. But I'll be back in a moment.
Good to me.
Brightleaf Innovations is excited to offer our newest investment opportunity. The Turn Easy Bed Storage Solution.
Turns with a touch, spins all the way around. Every little thing you need is easy to be found. No more clutter, no more mess on the floor. Just spin it, reach protect. Built-in power when you need to recharge. Smart design that makes your bedroom feel large. Turn easy bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day. Designed and developed by Brightleaf Innovations. Proudly Canadian and patent pending in North America. Turn Easy Bed transforms how you live.
To learn more about this innovative new product idea and exciting investment opportunity, call 519-784-0222 or visit brightleafinnovations.com.
Okay. Angie's got her camera off. You know what? I'm going to let the viewers decide. Is that cool? I don't want you to hate me.
Check
I really,
your phone.
my phone?
Yeah.
I got too many messages. I can't keep up with them. I'm still trying to review this stuff. One more of these. We'll be right back.
Maverick News. The world is watching. Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, here we are. There she is. Here's the dilemma. It's not just about you. It's about me. It's about the channel. Because now people have made it public, and so if I don't run it, then that implicates me in a way. And if I do run it, it implicates me. So I'm in a no-win situation. Because if I don't run it, people will say, well, you're protecting her and you're part of it, especially in this environment of no trust. If I do run it, and I'm sure you don't want me to, then you're pissed and you don't trust me anymore.
So the interesting thing is that the people that have come over to the chat here, those are people that I trusted. Those are people that took information, have stretched the truth, in my opinion. Making fun of a person who's a residential school survivor, that I did not. David, I did not dox anyone. I wouldn't want that. Like, I wouldn't do that to anyone. I feel bad that I didn't get along with an individual. And now what's happened is that I haven't spoken or anything about this individual for 6 weeks, and now we have to bring it up again when I've been encouraged to not talk about it. And so I didn't. People told me to quit talking about it, so I did. And so now these same people who've asked me to not talk about him are bringing it up again.
And so the person that this song was made about is a person. So this video,
I don't know what the video is. The video has nothing to do with me if there's a video attached to it.
Okay, I haven't. See, I couldn't even watch the damn thing because I've got a commercial playing in my head and other video. Like, I can't do this shit on the fly, like to that great degree, right? To review things and then make an editorial decision is very, very difficult. And while I've got people binging me, like, play this, you got to be transparent, and click this link, and it's being texted to me, I can't easily open these things. I have to flip it over, put it in a window through this, and I can't just like push a button on my phone. It doesn't work like that. And they're like all in the chat. And so my question is, this is some song or something that was created about a person, right? And it was,
yes.
And it's a song that was.
So I actually don't know. Did you hear it? I actually don't know.
I haven't heard.
So I have people sharing stuff in here, and I have people messaging me. So I have no idea. And people are saying it's from the people I've burned. I'm not sure, but the funny thing is I was trying to have a conversation with some of these people and they blocked me. So
hang on a sec here.
Unless it's the jingle to the Angie Clowry show that an individual made up.
Well, whoever sent me this stuff, this doesn't look like a song. This is you having a coffee. That's what I've got.
Yeah, so that's what it is. That's the jingle, but they probably put other things behind it. So an individual made a logo of me. It says the Angie Clowry show, made 3 different jingles. And I asked like why they were doing it. And they just said they were just trying to help me out. And now they're actually in the Rumble chat when they've blocked me on everything else.
So it's just like,
or not in the Rumble chat, but the other chat. So I'll level with you. It's if it is the song, it's not kind, and it's unkind to the other individual.
It's unkind to the person that the song was made about, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't even remember what it says, but I did quickly make it up because they were at that point, in my opinion, harassing me and another individual and constantly going on TikTok and talking about us. And so me and the other individual went into their live, had a conversation, and they continued to get mad and upset. And then I blocked them ever since. So.
I have so much stuff open. My computer's freezing. So what productive comes out of me playing this, folks? I mean, if you guys want to see it, it's out there, I guess, someplace. You could go find it on your own. The one thing that has me really reluctant to do anything with this is the fact that there's another person involved, and that's the person that the video is made about. And if I play it,
And there's no video. If someone's put a video to it, I have no idea what the video's from. It was only I don't have the capacity to
honestly,
make a
video.
video.
All I'm really seeing is you talking and having a cup of coffee or something. That's what I see. I don't see a song. This is like dragging on too long, actually. So, you know what I've got? No, I don't want to do that. That's going to take too much time.
I'm on trial.
Yeah, we're all on trial now. I'm on trial. You're on trial. I'm on trial because of all this stuff too. Oh, look at this. Hello, this is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Hi, Rick, it's Rudy.
Rudy Bruce. How are you today?
You?
Hang on a second here. My computer's freezing up here.
Speaker. Oh, it's on. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead. You phone me.
Oh, I go ahead. Okay.
You go ahead.
What's that Angie? You know that Angie girl you had on your show?
Yeah.
Do you have her number again still?
Yeah, she's here with me right now. We're on the show.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, and you're on the show.
Oh, I'm on the show. Okay.
Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Rudy. And
how are you today?
Well, I am fine.
Angie, how are you?
She cannot speak to you because you're calling in on this line on my phone, and which bounces over to this phone. If you wanted to interact with her, I'd have to give you another link or number to call so that she could then go to that link and go into the phone system. But
are you on air now?
Yeah, we're on air right now, so you are aware. Yes.
Well, send me a link to the show.
Okay, I can do that.
And I'll come on the show right now.
Okay. Another unexpected pleasure.
Okay. I'll wait. Where are you sitting?
Hang on a second here. I'll do it live while you're with me.
Okay.
I am being honest. I did not know Rudy was calling tonight. I didn't know any of this was going down tonight. And that is the 100% truth. So it's so this is the nature of the medium. You never know what's gonna happen when you're doing a live thing. So I got to see here. You think you're still in the system? There it is. There's your email.
You're gonna probably send it to an email.
Yes. Is that okay? Yeah. And
Yeah.
the texting thing is too cumbersome.
Okay.
There you go.
I will.
I guess send you a link. There's a video link so you can join by video.
Okay. Now I'm on my older. Okay, I'm looking for inbox. I guess I go to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Rick Maverick link.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch. I'm going to get onto my newer tablet so that it doesn't the camera won't cut out on me.
Okay.
And I'm going to switch this up. So I will be on the show there with you momentarily.
We're here and we're live and we're waiting. I'll see you in a moment.
I'll be there.
Okay. That's different. Not really. Sometimes it happens here. So for all you people out there who've been telling me that this is a big setup and they're out to get me, maybe. And I'm sure Angie feels the same way. And that is the whole trust thing, right? So as these things unfold, it's like, well, he planned that. And Rudy was going to call in the whole time. See, not good. I'm just being honest. I didn't know Rudy was calling tonight. Didn't know. I didn't know that link was going to be provided. None of this shit. I had other stuff still queued up. Are you okay, Angie? Okay. Your mic is muted, by the way.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Oh, I was just laughing because my dog was barking.
Wow. And so for those new viewers or people who don't know because you've had your head stuck in the sand like an ostrich, Rudy Bruce has been on the program a number of times over the years, and he is sort of a freedom fighter kind of person. And we've had a couple of conversations on the show about the crazy ostrich farm. and he's still out there. Got sick, got saved, still alive. He's off the farm now, I believe. And here he is. Okay, unexpected, but again, back by popular demand. Rudy Bruce.
Hi, how is
You know what,
everybody?
man? That camera is wide angle. You know, it makes you look like you're piloting the Millennium Falcon. Yeah.
Well, there's
Look
lots
at
to
that.
see and do here. Mhm.
I don't know if Con
You're in
Solo
the
was half as
you're
cool
in
as
the
you.
Rudy Bruce studio here.
The Rudy Bruce Falcon.
Yeah, here, let me adjust that a little bit there.
You're
Okay.
looking good, Rudy.
Well, thank you. I had major surgery. I'm feeling a lot better since that incident, but still
Good.
kicking. I came on. I'm going to be a little bit brief here. I'm going to invite you into the show. I've got a show tomorrow at 6:00.
I knew
Angie.
that's what you were going to do. You wanted to come on here and
oh, I
give
got to put my
yourself a
glasses
plug.
on. Where's my? Here they are.
That's what you wanted to do.
But I will give you some highlights, okay, before I leave about the show.
It's going to cost you. You got to give us some information here, and
I'll
no
give you some
plug
good
allowed, because I knew you were going to do that tomorrow.
What are we
but
at? How many viewers have we got in here?
3 million.
3 million viewers.
When you add up all the because we're bigger than the top 10 social media influencers who are receiving.
Well, I didn't even go into makeup or anything before coming on here. So
oh, well,
I'm at a little disadvantage.
I thought you did.
I'm at a little disadvantage. I didn't go into makeup before coming on. There was an incident last Sunday morning, okay, at the farm, regarding my leaving the farm, okay. And they came at me. These are some of the ground supporters that hit me at first at my trailer, like a pack of wolves, okay, to get me off the farm, okay. Now, I put up a post that it was most inappropriately, that way they kicked me off the farm. I had to have my mechanic come down with his truck to hook onto my trailer because my truck was still not completely fixed. And this Karen was aware of before all of this took place. And I really was inappropriately kicked off that farm. And now they have a great big slander thing going on against me, saying, because I told them there's going to be a show on this on Friday. Okay. So they wrote, yeah, they wrote up a kind of a slander thing regarding my truck, for example. Okay. My truck was sabotaged by one of the guys on the farm. His name is Gary. Okay.
Whoa. That's
yeah.
like a criminal accusation. So,
well,
how can you prove that?
Well, it's very simple. Okay. I ordered before I went down and into the hospital, I ordered a module. A module for my truck goes in behind the distributor cap.
A high energy ignition module that fits as part of the distributor. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I know all about them.
So after getting out of the hospital, I got all these staples going down my stomach and into my leg. Okay. And I was in no condition really to do any work on the truck. I couldn't bend over to the engine. And he with his the way he presented it, that he knew what he was doing. Okay, he's got all these tools and all this stuff in his truck, and he's going around the farm like he's the big fixer. Okay, so I kind of trusted him, and I didn't think it would be a problem for him to change. It's a I've changed it myself. It's a very simple task to change this module. Okay, all you do is you lift the distributor cap off. The module sits in behind that. Okay, there's two bolts there, or two screws. Okay, and there's a set of wires on one side and a set of wires on the other side. That's it. That's all there is. Okay, that's all that's involved. Okay, what this yo-yo does is he disconnected my coil from the top of the block. Okay, so what happened was, after he changed the module, the truck still wouldn't start. Okay, so I'm thinking that he sanded too much of the rotor. Okay, because he showed me the rotor was a little discolored, a little bit, a little bit, nothing too serious, but enough that I see him sanding the tip of it. Okay, and put it back into the truck. Okay, and then put the cap on. The truck still didn't start. The reason it didn't start was because the coil was now disconnected. Okay, and it's not sending juice to the distributor. Okay, so we take another trip to the auto place to get more parts, and I get a rotor, and I get a distributor cap. Okay,
Yeah.
now once all this is all put together, a second go, it starts. Okay, well, what he did was he put the coil in such a position that it would get a ground now. Okay. So now
we're kind of
I'm
getting into a lot
okay.
of mechanical stuff that people is just going to go off a lot of people's heads.
Yeah,
so
but I mean, you got to have a little.
Probably just cut to the chase here.
Yeah. So the chase is this. Now the truck starts. Okay. I plan a trip to the hospital to get my staples out. Okay.
Yeah.
And I go out to the highway, and the truck dies. Okay. And it's a lucky thing that that's where it died, because had it kept going, okay, because as soon as you put the gas to it, there wasn't enough ground for the coil, it died. Okay. So I'm off on the side of the road right there after I got onto the highway, which is not a very long distance from the farm. And that's it. Okay. So I had to get a ride back to the farm. And then he tows my truck back to the farm. In doing that, okay, he smashed on the brakes, pops a brake line underneath the truck. Okay. So now I've got another problem. Okay. So anyway, he tows it back to the farm.
What do you mean he smashed on the brakes?
When you smash on the brakes, it's a 94 truck.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you really smash on the brakes, you're going to get a pop. Okay. Like, it's not brand new wire, not brand new piping under that truck. Okay.
You're going to pop a brake line if they're all rusty and ready to pop.
Yeah, exactly. If you really push on it. Okay. Like, really.
Maybe if you push on it at all. But you should be able to mash on the brakes, because if you need to stop suddenly, you mash on the brakes. So it needs to.
Yeah, but then you're going to do the same thing.
Should be able to handle that.
Do the same. You're going to do the same thing. It'll pop a line. Okay, if you hit the brakes really hard, you're going to break a line. So there was a little hill that he had to go down.
Rudy. You can't bullshit
me. Let me finish, Rick.
You can't bullshit. You can finish, but I'm just telling you, be careful what you say, because you cannot bullshit me, because I know.
But what I'm saying is
because you're talking to a car guy, the host of the SST car show.
I had brand new lines put at the back. Okay. So the line that broke was before that, going up to the vacuum or the brake whatever. Okay, up on top. Master cylinder. So the line got popped between the master cylinder and the back. Okay. So now the next thing he's telling me is that it's got to be the fuel filter. Okay. So again, we go to the parts place.
Is he a mechanic?
And I get a fuel filter.
Is he a mechanic?
Well,
is he a certified
he's supposed to be mechanically inclined.
Okay, but he's not a mechanic. So you're putting your trust in somebody who isn't a certified mechanic. So you're you're hoping for the best, and you're getting
But
help.
But now this is where it gets good. This is now where it gets
from a good Samaritan.
This is now where it gets good. Okay.
Yeah.
because
This is not
after he puts
sabotage
in
so
the
far.
fuel
So go ahead.
filter, after he puts in the fuel filter, okay. Now I'm going out there to
Maintenance.
inspect the truck.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first thing I notice in that, on the top of the truck, on the engine, is that the coil is not connected to the top of the block of the engine. It's sitting there loose in front of the distributor cap. Okay. So now I know what happened to the truck. Okay. Because that was connected, or should have been connected to the top of the truck. And there's no way, okay, that I'm going to be able to drive that truck all the way from Saskatoon to the farm with a coil like that. There's no way. That's impossible. Okay.
Well,
impossible.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that worked on that truck. Okay. At that point. Okay. So now I know what is wrong with the truck. Plus, in the master cylinder, the front compartment is no fluid.
Yeah, because you
So
blew a
now
line.
I know. So
Mhm.
now I know there's a brake line gone too. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
already knew.
I've got a bigger problem. I've got no brakes on the truck.
Boy,
Okay.
we should have run the opening for my car show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, now I've got this
This
problem.
is Rick's Fix It Garage with
Yeah, there you go.
super guest Rudy Bruce
There
and
you
his
go.
94.
So,
What is it? A Chevy
a 94 GMC pickup.
GMC
Okay.
pickup. It's a
So
classic.
now it's a classic. Yeah. Now, okay. Now I've got to have it towed to a mechanic shop. I'm not letting this guy touch my truck anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story. Now that is just the truck.
Mhm.
Okay. The other part I'll save to the show tomorrow.
What time's your show
But
on
that's
tomorrow?
just on the truck.
What
That's
time-
just on the truck.
What time is your
That was
show
over.
tomorrow?
That was about $1,000 bill to fix that truck.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That was
Welcome
$1,000
to
right
the
there,
automotive world. Yeah.
just to fix the truck. Now, I'll go a little further. There was a video I did, and it was 4 hours long. I was intoxicated on that video. I was drinking, okay? But I in no way put down the farm.
You drinking while you're alive?
Once again. I've done them before, but what the hell? 4 hours long, and I had the haters phoning in on my show,
Yeah.
trying to talk shit on my show, and I got a little crazy over it. I mean, as far as I'm defending the farm, I'm not putting up with this shit. Okay,
I did see
But
a
I did it in
little
a
bit
very nice
of one.
way.
I didn't watch the whole thing, Rudy, but I did see the portion where Jack called you.
Wasn't that bad? Rick.
Jack.
Wasn't that bad? It wasn't that bad. But the thing is, okay, Karen didn't like the show. Okay, so she then says, okay, after your truck is fixed, we want you off the farm. Okay, no problem. Okay,
Mhm.
no problem. Because at that time there was some other things that happened on the farm that I disagreed with completely. Okay?
Really?
Oh yeah, big time.
You
Big
found
time.
some things that maybe just weren't happening properly and
Weren't right.
needs to
Okay,
be
weren't
corrected.
right. Didn't
Okay.
sit with me very well.
Uh-huh.
And I was pretty much at the end of my rope with that whole
Alright.
scenario.
All right.
And then Sunday come along, the day after that memorial, and they came at me like a
A
pack
memorial
of wolves.
for the
Like I
people
was
who died at the farm,
Yeah,
right? Mhm.
right. The next day,
People have questioned, yeah. So
right.
Yeah.
Now and also my mechanic was there that day to look at what was still wrong with the truck. I needed a plug wire, a bunch of plug wires, because
You needed
the
plug
mechanic
wires?
had changed the plugs in the
Yeah.
truck. Okay, but he
Mechanic?
put back the
You
old.
mean the guy
plug
who's not the
wires.
mechanic who was just
No,
mechanic?
not the other guy.
Well, the
Another-
mechanic changed your plugs. Okay.
Right. And didn't change the plug wires. So there was a miss. And I said, okay, that has to be changed.
So it's arcing over to the
And-
block. Yeah.
What's that?
Doesn't matter. It's technical.
No, the plug wires had to be changed. Once you do plugs, you got to change the plug wires too.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Only if they're blown
Well,
out.
it's usually a good thing to do that, because when you play with these plug wires, you
it's
could get a
okay.
crack in one or
Yeah,
something,
okay,
and
whatever, man.
you're not going to know. Anyway, so I wanted the plug wires changed because it had a miss. There was a miss on one of the cylinders,
Okay.
and it wasn't running right. And I
Mhm.
told Karen that before all this stuff went down on Sunday, and she allowed the little pack of wolves to come to my trailer and act the way they did. And
How was that? What do you mean act the way they did?
oh, they started unplugging my trailer and bringing in my satellite dish, and you're going. There was a truck that was put
So
in
they're
front of
kicking
my
you off the
trailer.
farm.
Oh yeah, there was a truck put in front of my trailer that he was going to tow it, and that wasn't happening. So I phoned my mechanic.
Oops. Rudy, where did you go? This is Maverick News headquarters, from Rick's mom's basement over to the Rudy Bruce Falcon. Over.
Still there?
To the Rudy Bruce
Okay, we're
Falcon.
back.
Over.
No, I got a call.
Be careful. Don't go into
Yeah.
hyperspace. You don't have good
I'm
brakes.
still here. Okay, so I had a mechanic
collide with an asteroid.
I had my mechanic come down to tow my trailer and not have somebody else tow
have
my
you ever heard
trailer.
of CAA?
No, I don't have CAA.
Well, you got to get that. It's only like $100 a year.
I hear about that.
Yeah,
but
it's a good deal.
It's actually more for
long
RVs.
story short, it
More
was
for
very inabrupt. It was very inabrupt. My trailer didn't even have insurance on it. I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction from anybody, and they pounced on me like a pack of wolves, and it was very inappropriate. So I came out to Edgewood's campground, is where I'm sitting now, and I phoned them on, I believe, Tuesday, and told them there is going to be a show on Friday regarding what happened. Okay.
And so far, with all this saga of the sabotaged truck and the
the whole thing,
over
the whole
whatever
goddamn
was
thing now,
going on
because
the farm, you didn't
they've
like
come out with a big statement, okay,
Yeah.
of half truth. It's not all true, and
Okay.
I feel that they're trying to discredit my show, my name, and everything. And everybody's trying to call me out for being this and being that, when that's not true. Okay. The truth is the truth. Okay. And they're trying to say that in some of their statement, they saved my life. Okay. I'll tell you who saved my life.
I know who saved
It was
your
the
life.
doctor who saved my life, the guy that did surgery on me. Okay. Who saved my life.
That's who saved your life. That's right.
All right. That's the long and short of it.
Right.
They're trying to nurse themselves out to be these God-fearing people that, they served me hand over fist, and that I'm ungrateful. Okay.
Yeah, well, they did
I was very grateful
from your hospital room, which was dramatic and engaging. Yeah.
I was very grateful. Okay. But Katie only came and seen me once in the hospital. And that was it. The rest was Chris Stacy and Jim, and another few of my supporters came there to see me, but that was it as far as their input. One time to get that video, to get that shot. Okay,
if I get sick, will you come visit me?
I'm in British Columbia now. You're in Ontario.
You gotta come visit me. I need somebody to come and visit me.
You send the plane fare, I'll come and see you.
Okay. I'm in the hospital.
I'm just being honest. Okay.
Anyway, you keep going.
So, and they had sent me up some coffee. Okay. I was grateful for what they did in that regard.
Yeah.
But regarding my truck and the way they kicked me off the farm, I was not grateful. Okay. I thought that was inappropriate. I was willing to leave the farm the Monday or the Tuesday when I had the plug wires in the truck, and it would have been no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
But to start disconnecting my stuff around the trailer and putting a truck in front of my trailer that there was no, they thought I was going to get towed to Vernon. Okay. Where in Vernon, I haven't got a clue.
Okay.
But to me, it was like once they got me out so far, maybe I'd be dumped on the side of the road or something. I don't know, but that's not what I'm going to go or anything. I had already scoped out where I was going to go. Okay. And it wasn't Vernon at that time. It was Edgewood's campground because it's still open to the public and it's set here by donation. Okay. In the off season. And here I am.
Okay, there you are. And it's winter and it's cold and they kicked you off the farm because I don't know why, said the fly.
Well, they didn't like my video, apparently.
The spider's got his eye on the fly, and I don't know why they kicked you off the farm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
why did they kick you off the farm, Rudy?
So then now they've got this great big story out there about how ungrateful I was or am. And that's bullshit. Okay. A lot of it is bullshit. They didn't describe what happened to my truck properly. They say they got me a battery. I never used their battery because that's not what was wrong with my truck. Okay. And I got the bill and the receipt to show exactly what was done to my truck to get it to run. Okay.
Yeah.
And part of that equipment is a coil. Okay. In order to get it to run. So that's what
so far this is all about you and your personal experience at the farm and your truck and what you're saying without getting into all these nitty-gritty details about the stuff with your mechanics is like that they didn't treat you well and they kicked you off the farm.
No, I didn't say that. I said for the most part they did treat me right. Okay. But there was another part of the story that's coming.
So what's the point you're trying to make with all of this? That you're now mad at the farm?
No,
you did something wrong.
They're trying to. They're coming out in a disgruntled way, without having my broadcast aired on Friday. Okay, they're trying to assume that I'm going to say all kinds of bad things about them. Okay. I haven't done the show yet. Okay. I haven't said jack shit yet.
Are you going to say bad things about him?
I'm going to say the truth of what happened
is the truth
further in behind the scenes.
For them?
I'll be speaking about the truth, what happened further in behind the scenes, but it's not that I'm so ungrateful. Okay. A lot of that food that we ate at the farm was donated money for the supporters that were on the farm. Okay. And, some of their statements is that we have no income now. Okay. And stuff like this, there's, and I believe about this. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's 10 different GoFundMe's with this project right now. And it's all under Katie's name. All the GoFundMe's, to my knowledge, are under Katie's name, not Karen and not David.
So,
right?
I was saying the other night, so what? I know if people are stupid enough to donate to something that's not a worthy cause, that's their damn problem, I guess.
No, this is what
especially when we've been warning people about it right here on this program for months.
Right.
So,
but this is what
and in fact, Rudy, when I sit and think about it, I think you were warned about going out there because you and I had a chat a long time ago. You and I did.
I, in fact, went out there, but I'm telling you this.
But didn't we have a discussion, you and I? Didn't I?
Yeah, but I was on the fence about the birds.
You were told.
I stayed on the fence about the birds. I stayed on the fence. I didn't want to see the birds killed.
But you went out there, even though I told you.
In fact, I did. November 2nd is when I went out there. The one that really botched this whole thing.
After you had been told a couple of times with me, and we talked about it, and I gave you all the information here. You agreed with me.
In some ways.
You were concerned about it, and then you still went. Why did you go?
I went there because
they gave
November
you
2nd,
money.
November 2nd is when I went there.
Because they helped pay your way, right?
No,
they did. They gave you some money.
No, and that's
somebody
not true.
gave you some money. To
I
get
paid
out there
my own way
for
out
gas money.
No.
How'd you get
I
there?
paid
then?
my
You didn't
own
have
way.
enough to get there.
Let's make it clear, okay?
Yeah.
No, I paid my own way out there. Okay, through my money, nobody else's. Okay.
Somebody gave you money.
No, that's not true. And for you to say that, that's misleading.
Okay.
Because
Well,
that never happened.
I'll leave it there. Maybe I'm wrong.
That I
I'm
only
not
speak
asking,
the truth.
and your
Rick, you should know that by
finances
now.
are private. You can keep that.
If I
to
have
yourself.
something to say, it's the truth. Okay.
Well,
I don't have to lie.
I don't know.
I'm
There's
not
been a
looking
little
for a
flip
vote.
flopping going on, and I'm not so sure about the smashing on the
Well,
brakes and the
that's
popping
why
the brake
you
line
should
thing.
tune
But
into the show tomorrow night, because there'll be more said about the whole
I
incident.
think the best place to do this right here is to do it right here, because you and
Well,
I can
then I
have this
lose everything in
conversation.
my
I'm going to
show.
keep you honest,
I
because
lose
I know
everything in my
a
show.
little bit about how trucks work,
But I'm
and how the
willing.
farm works too.
But I'm willing to accept Angie if she wants to come on the show, because
Can I come on the
they
show?
went into
Can I come on the
what's
show?
that?
Can I come on the show tomorrow?
I imagine it's restream. I think I can have the same as this going on.
What time is your show tomorrow?
Certainly, 6
What time is your
o'clock
show?
tomorrow night.
6 p.m.
6
or
o'clock. 6 p.m.
But your BC time.
Pacific time. It's
BC
9
time.
o'clock your time. Yeah,
9
for you.
o'clock. Oh well, that maybe I could do that, because our show normally wraps up around 9. Although
Yeah.
we got a heck of a show lined up tomorrow, sir. We do.
On the Rudy Bruce broadcast.
Maybe you should be
I've
part of
still
that
got-
one over
I've
here,
still
and then
got,
just segue right into
the
your
inner
your broadcast,
details.
and we'll combine the two
I've still
audiences
got
and have a
the,
mega audience.
Sorry, my eye is a little itchy. I've still got the inner details behind why I finally had given up on the farm. Okay.
Yeah. So
And that was part of
yeah.
the reason I did my live drunk. Okay. Because I was at that
so
point.
upset.
Okay. I
And
was
then
a little
you called
upset. I was
me.
at that point where nothing mattered anymore. And I'll be releasing all that tomorrow.
Nothing. You were so upset that nothing mattered to you?
No, the ostrich thing. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree, and I'll make it
I
public.
know. Blah,
I don't
blah,
agree
blah.
with what the CFIA did to those birds.
I know you don't, because
Okay?
you're all emotional about it.
Well, I cried.
It's hard
for,
to think
I don't know, a
rationally
couple
when
days.
you're all emotional about things.
You know, I cried about it for, I think it was 2 days before I could even do a broadcast.
You cried?
Oh yeah.
I told the story about my
it was
dad
horrible.
chopping ducks'
It was
heads off last night, and I'll tell you, I was a little bit traumatic when I was like, how old
it
would I
was
be? I
absolutely
was about
horrendous what they did
probably
to those
9
birds.
years old,
You know?
at the time.
Yeah.
But I didn't cry. I
No,
watched
I
them
did.
ducks run around like ducks with their heads cut off, because that's what.
No, it was horrendous.
You ever see a chicken run around with its head cut off?
No. I'm not that kind of way. You know.
You're not that kind of way.
No,
Yeah, that's where the old saying comes from, because they run around with their heads cut off, because nerve endings are still active in their bodies.
My brother,
and then
he
like,
went out
holy
hunting,
crap! I had my head. I lost my head. That's where that whole
my brother.
I lost
he went
my.
out
I guess maybe you
hunting,
lost
one
your head
time.
after the ostriches.
Gentlemen, I hate to be the adult in the room, but let's
Yeah.
just do we have a shit stick or something so one person can say I'm talking now? My
Just
good
saying.
gracious.
Just saying.
My
They're,
brother, he went out hunting one time, shot a rabbit, and that rabbit screamed. Okay. And I was young at the time. I was only 8 or so.
Did it have a name like the ostriches?
No, but it screamed, and I never had that happen to me before.
We had screaming lobsters on last night.
Oh yeah, no,
boiling them live.
Yeah,
right
but
here.
No, that turned me off. You know, that kind of turned me off about hunting and stuff like that. And
yeah, I don't hunt either. I don't have any interest in blowing away Bambi.
Yeah, so there you go. We'll leave it there. But you're welcome to come on the show. Angie, send me.
I have some questions for you while you're here, though.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
Are you grateful to the doctor who saved your life?
Yes, I am grateful for the doctor that saved my life. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now.
Right. What was it you had wrong with it? It was like some people are spinning up conspiracy theories around why you got sick and stuff. That was kind of weird. But let's just can we just bring it back to reality? You had some sort of an aorta in your abdomen that it burst or something.
The vein that runs between your heart and your kidneys. Yeah. I had a rupture. Right. Okay, it ruptured, and that's what happened to me. And there's only a 20% survival rate for people that happened to them. I was lucky. Okay, but I phoned the ambulance first. Okay. Then I phoned Karen. And
that's good.
So Rudy, can I share something? May I share something with you?
Sure, go ahead.
you were doing the live and you were bending over. You took a bunch of baking
That
soda.
was the
I
night
watching
before.
that.
That
So
was the night before.
I was one of the people that called the ambulance that night
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
called people that were working the ferry to ask them to keep it there. And I
Yeah.
called a number of people. Oh, I shouldn't say called a number. I
Oh, well,
contacted
thank you for
3
that.
people in town. So it wasn't just me. It was a group effort. And then someone else
yeah,
that was
yeah.
watching the live had Karen's number and called it. So I just
Yeah.
want you to know, as much as I'll admit I've made fun of you a number of times, you scared the out of me that day. I thought you were a goner.
Well, I
Rudy,
appreciate you phoning the ambulance,
You,
but
you
So I
see,
want
Rudy,
you to
see
know,
that pain
over here,
that
Rudy.
pain subsided, and I went on my own to the hospital that night.
Yeah.
Now that was the second trip I paid to the
Yeah.
hospital in Newcastle,
I just want to point
trying to
something
find
out.
out what was going on.
This is important. This is important.
Yeah.
Over here, you got folks who do care about you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got folks that care about me all over. But see, what's going on now is the farm is trying to discredit me and try to say I'm ungrateful and I'm this and I'm that. And that's not the facts.
Ungrateful to the farm?
Yeah,
For what?
Ungrateful. I'm an ungrateful guy, apparently. I don't know for what, but
I don't know.
Well, no, I have a very fortunate life.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay,
yeah.
All right. So you're feuding with the farm now.
It's getting that way because they're coming out with lies. Okay. There was a great big statement.
The farm coming out with lies.
There was a great big statement written by Katie. Okay. Now I can't go into reading. I'll send it to you. But they're misskewing the truth. Okay. They're not really saying the truth behind
about you.
What? About me and about me.
And what they were doing out at the farm the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it? I have.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, shoot. Well, the part about the truck, put in that. Okay. Because that was total bullshit.
I like it when you say that word. Can I record that and then play it here every once in a while when somebody says something that's crazy, and I'm just going to play the audio. And here's
my biggest one.
That's
my biggest one is, are you shitting me? That's my biggest one.
We could have a few different versions of it as sound effects on the show.
That's my biggest one. Are you shitting me, or that's bullshit? Okay, one of the two. So the reason I am coming out with the show tomorrow, was not
Agent 556 just made a comment saying he wants to be on your show.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the objective of me coming out in a show tomorrow.
Who's talking to you?
No, my phone. My phone.
Your phone is talking to you?
Yeah, my people are messaging me like crazy.
It's like the Star Trek computer talking to Captain Kirk.
The purpose of my show tomorrow
on the Millennium
was because in all the movements, or the movement that we have, or that I'm a part of, in going against the corrupt government and now the CFIA and etc. That we've had in the past have jumped on into the groups and misguided the groups. Okay, these manipulators and so on have manipulated the whole movement. Okay, in a lot of ways.
Who's manipulating the movement?
Yesterday.
Who?
Tomorrow.
Who?
Well, I've done a 4-part series on.
Who?
I did a 4-part series on YouTube. It's up there, regarding the convoy, for example. These are people that lost their path as far as the direction of the movement, and for whatever reason. Here it is again.
Task Force Agent 556 talk with you tomorrow, big guy.
I'm a pretty popular guy.
Big guy.
Anyways,
your phone likes you.
Yeah, but Siri, she can be a real so-and-so sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Okay. But anyways, certain people get into the group and they divide and stuff like this. And that was more of my topic.
Controlled opposition.
But tomorrow, now I'm going a little different way because I don't like to be manipulated, okay? Or my audience manipulated. So I'm coming at it in a little different way now that explains more detail about where the direction is going.
Charles Iron Horse Hotshot said, "Can you hear me, Daddy?"
Daddy?
Yeah,
Daddy?
I know. Isn't that a weird one? Eh?
Does your,
Like
I'm going to ask it,
some of these
Daddy?
people are, yeah.
What the hell were you watching before you came on here?
Is
No,
that
actually, he's-
Chiak guy? Is that Chiak guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
That
Some
guy's
of
a
these
troublemaker.
people,
He's a
some
well-known
some of these people are a little off the wall when they address me. Some of them, as long as it's not hateful content and stuff like that, I'll listen. But when it gets to be ridiculous and out of this world, it's a little bit, guy, you're gone.
So what
You
I
know?
want to, so you got sick at the farm. You're out there in the middle of freaking nowhere. You
Yeah,
had to
yeah,
call an ambulance. It
Yeah.
shows up and whisks you off to the hospital.
Well, it didn't exactly whisk me off. My blood
Yeah.
pressure was so low, it was there for 5, maybe 10 minutes, if I
Yeah.
recall. Now, don't quote me, but they couldn't find a vein. Okay, so my blood pressure was so low at that point that it took them a while to find a vein to get an IV into me.
Mhm.
I don't hate you, Daddy. I love you.
Jesus,
We love
I'm
you
turning
too,
this
Daddy.
phone. I'm
Daddy,
turning this
Daddy, I
down.
love you, Daddy.
This is
Obviously, this Chiak guy is
nuts.
listening. You should tell
Just
him
don't
to
spank
Oh,
me,
obviously,
Daddy.
he's
keep
yeah,
his
I'm
No
thumbs.
turning it
spanking,
down.
Daddy. Whatever the hell that's about.
I'm turning it down so that it's not going to interrupt us anymore.
I kind of like
But,
it, actually.
But it was so low that it took them a while to get a vein to get an IV into me.
Mhm.
And like I said, it's only a 20% chance of people that survive
Right.
that make it. Okay. And I guess it wasn't my time yet. Okay. So here I
Well,
still am in
Yeah.
the fight
Yeah.
and so on.
Because they
Yeah.
they got you to the hospital, even though you were
Yeah.
out there in the middle of freaking nowhere, and
Yeah.
they still managed to stabilize you enough to get you to a hospital. What town did you have to go to? Which hospital?
Well, it was a 4-hour trip in an ambulance to get to the
4
Kelowna
hours.
Hospital.
Yep.
As soon as we got into the Kelowna Hospital, it was
Mhm.
right into the OR,
Yep.
and that was it. And then the next thing I know,
Charles Iron Horse Hotshot. I am not that Chiak guy.
That Chiak guy.
anyway, I pushed the wrong button. Now I've got it turned down.
Okay.
But anyways,
Okay,
it
Daddy.
was a 4-hour trip to the hospital, and I was lucky to make it
4
and
hours.
still be alive.
That's how
So,
far
yeah.
away you were. Oh my God. 4 hours away. Well, they got an ambulance to you anyway. So you're very, very fortunate indeed. And so you get to the hospital and they get you in there. And
Yeah.
I guess you had to have emergency surgery at what was the hospital
yeah.
again?
Kelowna
Kelowna
Hospital.
General
Kelowna
Hospital.
Okay.
Kelowna General Hospital, yeah.
Awesome. And so
Yeah.
they got you in there probably right away because you're in such rough shape, right? So no waiting, straight
Oh,
in.
it was right away. It was right
Yeah.
in there. Now,
Instant
bear in
service.
mind, I was at the hospital 2 times before this,
Mhm.
the day before and the day
Mhm.
before that. That was
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday,
Same
trying
hospital?
to find out what was going on.
Yeah. Was it the
And
same
they sent me
hospital?
home. No, Newcastle, the one in Newcastle.
Right.
I went there
Where
twice.
Yeah.
Nicasp, yes, Nicasp.
Yeah,
So
went
that's
there
that's
twice.
much
And
smaller sort of a facility.
yeah,
Was it a
and both
walk-in
times
clinic of
was
some
sent home.
kind or?
Both time, and even after a
Yeah.
blood test was taken on Friday.
Mhm.
Okay. So I don't know why the hospital couldn't go with further testing or whatever. But by Sunday
No,
morning,
because when you're in a small community
was it.
like that and you're that far away from, a major center, they just don't have the resources or the facilities or the equipment
well,
to
I tell you
address
this,
something as serious as what you were
they
suffering
told
with,
me
or
on
even
Friday, they told me
diagnose.
on Friday in the hospital
Yeah.
that my kidneys were operating at 51% capacity.
Yeah.
Now, that should have indicated right there was something going on. Okay. And to send me to further testing, because
Mhm.
I would have gone to go get further testing rather than endure what I endured on Sunday morning. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to me Sunday morning was the worst pains I have ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't get up off the floor. I was sweating profusely and I was breathing hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Really hard. And it was just horrendous. Okay. What I went through as far as the pain and
Okay.
everything was concerned. And again, I am lucky to be alive because of all the timing and everything. And
Yep.
my blood pressure was low, and there was a lot of factors involved with that. But what happened was, I believe my blood started to coagulate, whatever you call it, and
Coagulate.
thicken. Yeah, and that slowed it down. And then they rushed me into a test called an EG or something, or a thing you put into a guy. You put him into a machine, and he X-rays that way, you know, like, I don't know what you call it, EG or whatever, the ICG or whatever the fuck it is.
MRI.
Anyway, no, it was
The other thing.
AKG or something like that. But that's where they cut me, sliced me up the middle like a codfish,
Mhm.
and also a cut on my leg to get a blood clot out of my leg. And that's still another concern going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the damage done to save my life, and that's the war wound, I guess you call it,
A war wound.
for what they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty extensive. Now, when I came out of hospital, all those little holes you see there, well, there was metal staples in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So when Gary did the work on my truck, I couldn't bend over. I mean, I couldn't go out to my truck to do any work on the truck.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was the cause of it. Okay.
Yeah.
That was the reason. Okay. But now Gary had been bragging about the fact that he's mechanically inclined, blah, blah, blah. And I changed the module in that truck myself. Okay.
Okay.
It's not a big job.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
it's not a big deal.
I guess Gary's not
Okay.
as mechanically inclined as he thought he was.
Well, he didn't have to touch the coil at all.
Mhm.
Okay. That's how I know he sabotaged the truck.
Or just made a mistake
No,
because he didn't know what he was doing.
I don't know how you make a mistake when the module has absolutely nothing to do with that coil. Okay. Nothing. The only thing that you take apart is the distributor cap, not the coil. The coil has nothing to do with the module.
Mhm.
So it's in a different part of the truck, in a sense, and has absolutely nothing to do with the coil. So when
What
I went
size
out to
engine's in that
inspect
thing?
the 350,
350 Chevy?
no, yeah, 350,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
GM. So when
Mhm.
I went to inspect the truck, after all the shit was done, the fuel filter and everything, we couldn't figure out why this truck isn't running still. I went out to inspect the truck myself and seen what was going on. And the coil is sitting loose in front of the distributor cap, which is absolutely not where it belongs. Okay. And it was sitting there loose. So I knew at that point what had happened. Okay. He had disconnected the coil from the block or from the engine. And that's what caused all the problem. And then now I've got a broken brake line too, as a result. So now it's a little more major than just putting a coil on the top of the block. Okay. I had to fix the brake line, and I can't do that where it was sitting. I have to get a mechanic to do that because
Okay.
that's a little more extensive. So that's what had to be done. So the tow bill was $200 to go less than 10 miles.
That's why you need CAA, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Would it cost you
repair
zero?
bill was $571.
Okay. That's not bad.
And on the
lot of labor. A lot of labor
on
to change
the,
a rusty brake line
on
in a 94.
on the bill,
Mhm.
it shows right there a coil, the brake line,
Yeah.
and new spark plugs.
Okay.
Okay. And then when I
I
brought
don't know
the truck back,
what's the point of all this, Rudy?
Well, this is what led up to me phoning Karen when I got the truck back and told her that there was still a little bit of work left to do on the truck before I could tow the trailer. And after that was done, I'm off the farm. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. There was no need to send a pack of wolves to my trailer and do what was done on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the inappropriateness of kicking me off the farm.
Okay.
So that is pretty much it. But then they send out.
I want to go back to just for a moment to your visit to the hospital.
Yeah, go ahead.
So how long were you in the hospital?
I think I was in there 2 weeks. I thought it was a week, but apparently I think it was 2 weeks now.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Wow.
2 weeks.
So pretty heavy duty operation, man.
Yeah.
And
I believe I wanted to be out as soon as possible
time.
because I don't like hospitals. Okay, I'm not a hospital guy.
Me either. I don't like to hang out there.
So when they said, in order to leave here, you've got to climb up these little stairs. You got to walk around a little bit. I said, let's get it on.
Yeah.
Okay, where's the stairs?
Yeah,
okay.
sure. Question.
Oh, yeah.
Question for you. You're from Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're there in BC. You get sick.
I was born here in BC, though. I'm actually a BC guy. Yeah.
Are you a resident?
I was born here. I was born in Langley, BC.
Cool. I'm just curious. Like,
I've traveled around all my life.
But you're really covered under Saskatchewan insurance, aren't you?
Yes, so, I'm under Saskatchewan insurance.
Not BC health insurance.
Right.
So when you went into the hospital, how did they deal with that? You had to present your Saskatchewan health card.
Oh yes, definitely.
I guess
I was already registered with
interprovincial arrangement to make sure that you got care. I guess, right?
Yeah, but I was already registered under New Cusp Hospital because I had been there twice.
Right,
already.
But because you're under Saskatchewan healthcare, they still took care of you, though, right?
Oh yeah, of course they would, because that's the way it goes.
Because of the interprovincial agreements. Yeah,
exactly. But they knew who I was and everything when I hit New Cusp Hospital. Okay,
sure.
So
because they've got a record.
All of that was all there presented to.
Because they're tracking you, dude. Digital ID.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call it digital ID, but I would say
digitized. It's all in the computer.
From one to another. Yeah, it was. Yeah, covered.
Yeah, they knew all about what was in your innards, in your guts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so 2 weeks in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens now? Do they send you a bill or what goes on?
Well, I'm covered under Saskatchewan Health.
So no, that's fortunate.
Well, you know what I mean? I mean, we're all Canadians. We pay for it all our lives. We pay for healthcare all our lives.
You got your health insurance.
But no matter where you are, you're under a healthcare plan.
Right.
Okay. Whether it be BC or Alberta or
agreements.
Exactly.
So that no matter where you go, you're going to be
okay. Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. But
damn right.
If you take Alberta, for example, and they want to separate to become American, okay.
Then
now you look at the devastation in America.
They'll be fucked in Alberta. Sorry, Linda, for swearing.
You look at the devastation in Alberta.
Take it up with Chris Scott and Jeff Rath. You Albertans,
it's not that way.
And then look what happens when you go to BC.
You ain't going to get shit.
Oh, actually, they probably would still take care of you.
In the U.S., they've been fighting about healthcare for years. It's horrendous what they've been doing.
And you got it right there.
You've got people being wheeled out and dumped on the road.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they tried that shit here.
Pretty damn lucky.
There was an incident with security guards in Alberta Saskatchewan, I think it was. And these security guards dumped a guy out in the snowbank in there. And
Daniel Smith probably told him to do that.
No, I think this was in Saskatchewan, I think. And that whole security team on all those hospitals was fired.
Yeah.
They lost their contract. Okay.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Because of what they did, from what I understand. Now,
okay, we're off topic. I want to talk about you. Because this is all about you.
Yeah. Tonight. Well, I wasn't feeling too good in the hospital.
Sorry,
I had a very dry mouth, and all they would give me was these wet sponges, and I felt I was in a concentration camp here.
What?
You know what I mean? Like when I woke up Oh yeah, it
Excuse
was
me? Whoa,
like
whoa,
no
whoa, that
food,
one
no
back there.
nothing.
So
It
there
was
you are in
holy
the
shit.
hospital. You're in the
Yeah.
hospital in
Yeah.
BC,
Yeah.
all the way from Saskatchewan, and you're saying
Yeah.
and they're saving your life, and you
Yeah.
say
Oh
you
yeah.
felt like you were in a concentration camp?
Well, because of I couldn't get a drink of water. I mean, there was just these little wet sponges,
Yeah, well,
and my
you're not
mouth
in the
was
best of shape
dry.
there, Rudy.
You know,
you're hooked up to
it was
machines.
just
They're
a
keeping
feeling
you
of what I
alive.
felt like.
You're
I
not
mean,
supposed to
maybe
feel comfortable. God wanted you to suffer a little bit so that he let you know
I
that you were on the
guess,
edge there.
but
Yeah.
it was personally, it was a very kind of uncomfortable feeling when you can't get a drink of water.
No
You know what I mean?
shit. Been there myself.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was it was very uncomfortable. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then of course all this cutting up of me and everything else, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, well,
It
I
was not a
know
good
that's
feeling.
what had to be
It
done
was
though,
very,
so they
very
could save your
painful.
life.
I couldn't maneuver like I was before,
Mhm.
and it was
And
a
so,
different thing,
of
you know.
course, I mean that's
And I'm a
a
very
major deal.
headstrong
That's
guy.
you know, so
You
but
know.
after all of that, when you and I spoke before about this,
Yeah.
you seemed pretty pissed off with
Over.
the hospital.
Well, no, I was pissed off over the fact of the waiting lines for people.
Mm.
And now you can't get a private doctor. You can't get a personal doctor. You got to go to a clinic.
Yeah, well, you
Okay.
know what? Here's
There's a
here's
lot
the
of
deal. Here's the deal with
inconsistencies
all this
here.
stuff, Rudy.
There's a lot of
You know what? Because
inconsistencies.
I'm gonna spank you a little bit here. Okay.
But that's true. People have
No,
died in the emergency
it's my turn to
rooms.
talk, and it's your turn to
Go
listen.
ahead. Sure, go
Okay?
ahead. Shoot. You go
I'm
ahead.
gonna give you my perspective on where you're at.
Okay.
Because you're on Maverick News, and this is my platform. And
Okay.
here's a little tough
Don't
love
forget
for
you
you,
got to show
because we do love you here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here's the deal.
Go ahead. Shoot.
All right. Can I talk? You're not going to interrupt me, right? Okay.
Zip.
Floor is mine. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the Rudy Bruce story. The way it really went down. Rudy was in contact with the farm, and they were like, "Hey, you've got a podcast or whatever. You've been talking to him. You started talking about the birds, and then you were like, oh, you can't CFI, evil government, blah blah blah." Then I was digging into it, and I was finding all kinds of weird stuff going on out there, and I called you. And you came on the program because I'd heard you talking about it, and we had a further discussion, and I shared my information with you. And at which point you got, well, pretty spooked because it was like, holy crap, this is really weird stuff. And then you had a friend out there and you told him to get the hell out of there. And then you were like, yeah, folks, there's something weird going on out there. And it's cause for real concern. But then after time, something happened. And you decided that even though you knew there was all kinds of weird shit going on out at that bird place that I'd told you and I'd shown you the receipts, you still decided to hop in your 1994 GMC pickup, haul in your trailer, hauling ass from Saskatchewan all the way to the middle of butt-fuck nowhere in the middle of BC to an ostrich open-air biolab where they'd been doing research on COVID, apparently, by injecting these birds with COVID antigens. While they're trying to tell people that this has something to do with saving humanity from bird flu or something. And it was all weird, but you still decided to drive all the way out to butt-fuck nowhere in the middle of fucking BC. Excuse my language, Linda. You can ban me from the chat. So anyway, I'm going to continue here since Donald Trump has normalized giving everybody the middle fucking finger and using, pejoratives and all kinds of foul fucking language. So there you are in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, and you're doing all these fucking live streams, and you're talking about these crazy fucking birds. And it's like, holy shit, the evil fucking government, they're overreaching again. And you're like live streaming the living fuck out of the fucking internet with all these other motherfuckers who are out there trying to fuck up everybody's fucking mind with a big fucking psyop. And you're participating in it, even though you know the fucking truth, which isn't anything that you were fucking sharing. You were lying your fucking ass off about birds being fucking killed in the middle of the fucking night from fucking aerial drones shooting fucking pellets or fucking, I don't know what the fuck. Okay. But down you go into the fucking rabbit hole and taking everybody fucking with you.
Yeah,
And,
well,
and telling people all kinds of
you're
lies
the-
and shit about fucking birds being shot in the fucking head and the neck and every other fucking thing. And then being fucking violations of the Supreme Court fucking ruling where they weren't supposed to kill the goddamn birds when they but fucking did anyway. And then they went and fucking liquefied them, and you were fucking had people chasing blue bins around allegedly with goddamn birds in them when there wasn't anything of the sort going on.
I
but you
didn't do all
fucking
of
care.
that.
Oh, you were participating
I
in the whole
wasn't-
goddamn thing.
I
and
was
amplified
there,
it.
and I
And
was.
then, but then to
Yeah.
add insult to injury, as you were doing harm to people's minds with the rest of those motherfuckers out there, you fucking turn around and you get sick. Okay. And then you pop a fucking aorta in your goddamn abdomen because I don't know why, but there you are. And thank God, Rudy, because we do love you. And this is tough love. Okay. Because like we really do. I care about you. Okay. This is why I'm talking to you tonight. So then you get sick and you know, it's hard to figure out what the hell's going on with you because you're in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. Okay.
Yeah.
And so there's minimal health care available because you're in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. But they still got your ass to a fucking hospital. You went there and they were assessing you and they said, hey, man, there's something really fucking wrong with you because you got something going on with your kidneys. So it goes on for a while, but they can't really fucking diagnose it because you're in the middle of butt fuck nowhere where they don't have many resources. But you're pissed about that. Okay. So you're highly critical of it because you're instantly critical of the government no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no fucking balance with you, man. And so then you go back to the farm and you get sick and you pop it. Okay, so there it goes. There goes your aorta. You're almost fucking dead because you're in the middle of butt fuck nowhere, and you're not healthy, man, because you smoke too much and you drink too much. And again,
I don't
that's
drink too
tough
much.
love.
I don't drink all the time.
I know.
I don't drink too much. That's
there's a
another
lot of
rumor.
years, a lot of years there, and you should stop. You should put that fucking cigarette down right now before you die, because we love you. Okay, but then you get sick and you're now on death's door. And they still get a fucking ambulance to you in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. And they get you to a fucking hospital, which is 4 hours away. And those EMS guys, whoever they are, they deserve the Nobel fucking Peace Prize that the fucking opposition.
Well, they did a good job. Put it that way. I mean, everybody did their job.
You, man. Because they kept you alive long enough to get you to the hospital where when you arrived, even though you're not from BC, you're all the way from Saskatchewan, okay?
Still Canadian.
Okay. So then they get you in, no waiting for you, man, because you really need the fucking help. And they got you in right away, immediately.
Well, they had
then
to.
you had emergency surgery. The doctors there saved your fucking life. All right. And then you go up to your fucking hospital bed, right? And you're there, and everybody's really worried about you. There were people who came on this program and falsely reported that you had fucking died. And people were here.
Somebody said that. I
you know
didn't say
what?
that.
Yeah, you know,
Somebody
I know
else
you
said
didn't. Somebody else was spreading that around.
Hold on,
And you know
I
what?
need to speak to that. I need to speak to that.
No, you
Go
don't.
ahead,
No, let me finish. The
Angie
floor
speak
is
to that.
mine,
Go
and
ahead.
nobody talks over
okay.
me. You can talk after.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
Okay, then people here who have level heads and really are rooted in reality, they were crying for you, a human being, not for the fucking birds. Okay.
No.
All right. And so they were worried about you. And then Katie and who was it? Daisy, I think went up there.
Luca.
Yeah, he's a real piece, isn't he? A real piece of integrity. So then he went up there and they live streamed you from your fucking room. And put you all over social media.
Yeah, just after
to show what
surgery,
good, good-hearted people they were, I guess, and then kudos to them for going to visit you. But then from there, what did we get from you? We got more anti-government bullshit. Like government's fucking trying to kill everybody, blah, blah, blah. When in fact, dude, they saved your fucking life. Now I ain't fucking done. All right. Because no, floor's still mine. You can't talk yet. Can't talk yet. Can't talk yet. I ain't done. Okay. So you're from Saskatchewan, and then you go all the way out there to butt fuck nowhere in the middle of B fucking C. And then what do? You just throw them your fucking health card, and they take you in and they do all this work on you. And the total bill comes to fucking zero. Fucking zero. They saved your fucking life. Even though you should have fucking died, especially because you're out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere where I told you not to go in the first place. And this is your daddy talking, okay? And daddy's spanking you a little bit here. All right. Shouldn't have fucking gone there, especially given your health condition. All right. To pre-existing health conditions, but off you went. Healthcare bill under the Canadian healthcare system, fucking zero, even though you weren't from there. And you know what, Rudy?
I
looked it up. If you'd been down in fucking buttfuck Texas,
okay.
Do you know what you'd be facing right now, my friend?
I have no idea.
I do. Minimum 500,000 US. You would be fucking destroyed, dude. You'd be so fucking far in fucking debt down in buttfuck Texas. That you would want to fucking kill your fucking self. You'd be wishing that they hadn't fucking saved your fucking ass and that you were fucking dead, because you'd owe fucking much money that you would be in fucking debt for the rest of your fucking life and beyond.
Yeah.
So that's the fucking truth. And now, and I still ain't fucking done.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Now you're keeping the whole fucking narrative going because you haven't learned your fucking lesson. All you've done is you've criticized the fuck out of the government again that saved your fucking life with a fucking social health care program that I think needs improvement. But, I don't want to fucking destroy everything so everybody fucking dies that's poor. So there you are. You're still fucking criticizing the government, telling everybody that they want to fucking murder everybody when they actually saved your fucking life. And you're out there at the farm still sucking up to the people at the farm who don't give up two fucks about you, because they just wanted you to go out there to use your fucking platform to get their fucking narrative out there and their fucking lies and their fucking horrific stories about liquefied fucking birds. So everybody fucking donate while they're stirring up all kinds of shit, pissing off all the fucking people in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. Now you come on my fucking program unannounced, which is cool, fine. I'm an open book here, and I'm happy to have people on. But then you come on to promote a fucking live stream with some bullshit fucking story, either because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or it's a fucking fabrication about how your truck was fucking sabotaged, which I'm having a hard time fucking believing. Except maybe the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I think maybe he didn't know what he was doing, and now you're turning it into a fucking story or whatever. But anyway, that's aside. Okay, I'll give you whatever. He didn't fucking sabotage your truck. At worst, he's just incompetent. But what you're doing really right now, Rudy, is you are not feuding with that farm to the degree that you're letting on. You're just here spinning up a story in order to keep this whole fucking thing alive and have us all talking about the fucking birds in the middle of butt fuck nowhere with a narrative, a story that you've made up about your truck being sabotaged and how you're a big fucking victim and that they treated you so poorly. And I don't know why everybody's turning on the farm suddenly, all the people who actually have been supporting the goddamn thing all the way along, except that by doing that, creating this drama, everybody's going to talk about the drama so that everybody at the end of it all can actually really deliver the same fucking message, which is that the government is evil and you have to fucking hate them because they hate fucking ostriches and you have to tear it all fucking down. And so I don't really believe you. I don't really believe that you're fighting with the farm that much. I don't think that there's that much feuding going on at all. And I don't think that your truck was sabotaged. I believe that you had mechanical problems, but I think you're using that as to spin that up as an excuse to come on here and then tell this fucking tale about how Katie and the people at the farm treated you badly in the end, which makes no fucking sense. And they kicked you off the farm, and now it's a big fucking thing. And then maybe they did, because you do get a little fucking inebriated when you're on your fucking broadcast out in the middle of butt fuck nowhere. So I don't know, man. That's the way it really went down.
Rick,
and
really
that's the fucking truth.
Okay. No,
okay,
that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Okay. That's not the truth at all. You're spinning something that isn't the truth. And that's the point.
No,
that's the point of me even being on the show. Okay. Angie, go ahead, say what you were going to say.
Good luck. You're muted.
Well,
who muted?
Someone's going to get, I always mute myself because I have a dog that's barking, and then I'll level with you guys. I was laughing with numerous people that I'm chatting with. So Rudy, I wanted to apologize to you for a couple of things. Making fun of you. It's not what I want to be doing for. No, I'll level with you. There's a bunch of us doing it, and I'll take responsibility for the part I played. But I also want to apologize to you and your daughter and your friends and your family, because what happened with that is I saw on your Facebook, I was actually talking to my mom. And so know that a day or two before is when I thought you were dying. And I was one of numerous people that called the ambulance, and I lost my crap talking to my mom. I said, oh my gosh, Rudy passed away. And I was like freaking out. I didn't know what to do. And so I saw it on your Facebook, some lovely lady who later apologized. And I'm the one who sent that to Jason LaFace. And I know you called him out. And so that I'm sorry as a former reporter myself. I just wanted to say I'm terribly sorry to you and your daughter and to anyone else that hurt. And by that time, I think Rev and Kevin also shared it. Not that that gives it anything, but as
they sent it to me, and I was like, I'm going to check this first.
Yeah. Good. So I'm sorry, Rudy.
Okay. Well, I didn't die, so that's no big deal. I'm still alive.
It would have hurt your daughter a lot, and that's never my intention.
Okay. Well, at least we cleared the air on that one. But no, in a lot of things that Rick is saying, he over-exaggerates.
100% fucking true.
He over-exaggerates.
No, I told it exactly the way it fucking went down, dude.
If you recall back
Daddy.
when I first did your show, Rick, I stayed on the fence with, I don't want to see the birds killed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that is a fact. Okay.
So
the other side is this.
Justify lying
in that no. Listen
streams,
to me now
dude.
for a minute. Listen. In that 9 months that passed, those, I mean, there was lots of photography.
You know what, Rudy? No,
I'm not done. Okay, you had your piece. Now,
you've had your time here, man.
Because of what you said. Okay. Now, in that 9 months, there was lots of photography on those birds.
Rudy,
and they never looked
maybe
sick
tomorrow I'll come on your broadcast, and then you can tell this tale because
they
it'll be your platform. But the truth of the matter is the farm has had ample opportunity to spin their fucking lies. And I'm not going to sit here tonight and revisit all of that shit because 98% of it probably is fucking untrue, fucking
they were never
exaggerated,
tested birds,
fucking
period.
Confusing.
That's a fact, Jack. Okay.
Yeah, it's all fucking
they were never tested. Okay.
Yes,
those birds were never tested.
They were adequately tested. And I'm not going to get into that shit, Rudy, because that's a bunch of bullshit. You know what that is, Rudy? That's a bunch of bullshit. Bullshit.
Those birds were never tested except for 2 of them on a PCR test.
Oh, for fuck's sakes, Rudy.
We all know about PCR tests.
Rudy.
There you go.
It's over, dude. And
well, maybe for the birds.
Yes, it is, but that's right. It ain't over though, is it?
Not for the CFIA.
No, because you're gonna keep this fucking thing alive.
Oh, you damn right I will.
Yeah,
because that was here tonight. That was horrendous what they did to those birds.
No, it was not.
Sure, it was.
It's livestock, dude.
Doesn't matter. The way they killed those birds.
You know what?
Even one of the CFIA guys,
and they're still lying about the shit out there. And you know what caliber of bullet was it they used it again?
That's not true. That part.
What caliber of bullet did they use to shoot the birds?
22 longs, they say.
Yeah, bullshit.
They said 22 longs.
Yeah, bullshit. CFIA
not
didn't
the CFIA,
say that. Then,
but the rounds that were
I know
found
the
on
fucking
farm.
activists there who are spinning up moral fucking lies. All right. And why? Oh, they beheaded the birds too, right? Did they behead the birds? That's what they're saying out there.
Well,
they didn't
I don't
behead
know.
the birds. You want to know the fucking truth? Can you handle the truth, folks? You want to know why some of those birds didn't have heads?
I haven't gone into that part.
I'll tell you why.
I just went into the part of the 22 longs.
Can you handle the truth? Can you handle the truth? Are you
ready? What's that? How do you know the
why
truth,
they didn't
Rick?
have heads?
You exaggerate.
I'm not
you have a
exaggerating
tendency
shit.
to exaggerate.
You want to know why they didn't have heads, Rudy? Do you want to know why?
Why?
It's not
Why
what
is
Chris Barber said about it. It's not
I
that.
don't
That's
know
not
what
the truth. The truth
Chris
is
Barber
some of
said
those
about
birds in the end didn't have heads, Rudy, because they didn't use fucking 22s. They used a higher caliber bullet or shell. And when they hit those fucking birds in the heads, those fucking heads came clear fucking off. So that they died instantly with no pain.
That's not my understanding of it.
That's why they didn't have heads.
Why were they colored? Why were they painted different
off.
colors too? Do you know about that?
What?
Why were they painted different colors, blue and red?
I don't fucking care because the CFIA did whatever the fuck they did. They can paint them fucking polka dots for all I fucking care.
See, that's what I'm saying. You know, you
I don't
get
give
to
a
half
fuck
of the
why
truth.
they painted them this or that.
Some of it
because they had to do what they had to do, man. And it's unfortunate that they had to do that. And but I'll say this: all the shit that went down there, you can point the finger of blame at one place, one fucking place, the farm. They're the ones to blame.
I'm not here to dispute that part of it with you, Rick.
Created the conditions.
Yeah,
for
well,
all of
I'm not
this.
here.
No
I'm not here to
responsibility for their
dispute that
actions,
part of it.
and it just fucking unraveled from there.
I'm not here to dispute that part of it with you.
Yeah, that's
okay?
right. So stop.
I'm only here
blame
to
at a government to save
explain.
your fucking life.
No.
Now you're trying to rip the shit out of it.
That's
all
what we pay
because
for
you're
in this
part of a
country,
great
Rick.
big
Is we
fucking
pay.
campaign
Let me clarify
to
something.
stabilize everything, man.
In North America,
Maybe an unwitting
we pay
idiot.
the
I just
most
don't
in
know.
North
Still idiot,
America
whatever.
in taxes, and
This is
part of that
bullshit. I don't
taxes
give a fuck
is
right
to
now, Rudy.
medical health care.
You guys, the whole
The
group of you
most in
out
North
there,
America.
should be ashamed of yourselves from what you've done out there.
No, I'm not
Yeah, you
ashamed
should
of
all be
myself at all.
ashamed because
Not at all.
everything you've done is just spin up a pack
Not
of
at
lies.
all. No, it's not.
100
And you're
100%.
saying that.
And
You're
I told
saying
you
that,
so.
and that's
You agreed with
bullshit.
me when you're on the
That's
program.
bullshit.
I showed you. You didn't fucking care.
Okay, and I'll tell you that. That's bullshit. Okay.
No.
In North America, Canadians
No,
pay the
more
most
shit.
in taxes.
Everything you've been
in
saying
North
since you
America.
arrived
Do
at
you
that
know
time has
that?
been bullshit, man.
Do you know
Every
that?
fucking thing.
You know that, don't you?
What's that?
We pay the most in taxes in North America.
Shut the fuck up, Rudy.
Well,
Seriously.
we do. We do.
No, we don't.
Okay. Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Don't say we don't when we do. And
the
some
most
of that
in
goes to
every place
healthcare.
in the whole fucking world. You know
And
what?
not enough is going to
Somebody's paying
healthcare
the
either.
goddamn taxes because they just saved your life.
When Carney is spending
But I'll say this, the
$33
farm's right about
billion
this. The farm is right about this. Okay? You're ungrateful. You're fucking ungrateful. You keep on talking, Rudy. You're ungrateful. It's really disappointing. I'm so tired of this shit. This country saved your fucking life, man. And look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. We love you, Rudy. Tell the truth. For a change. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow night. I love all you guys. Long live Canada. See you tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. On the flip side.
Didn't pick this fight, but here it came. Now I wanna play in a traitor's game. They sell us out for a tax cut deal. Shake his hand while they rob and steal. They call us blind, they call us weak, but they're the ones on their knees to the thief. Wave our flag while they burn it down, marching to the sound of a tyrant's crown. They ain't patriots, they're bought and sold. Trade our land for American gold. Singing his tune, dancing his way, but they'll cry for Canada when it's too late. Yeah. Trump traitors, selling us out, burning our home for a tax break now. They stand with the wolves, spit on the brave, but they'll beg for Canada when it's in its grave. They talk real tough, but they bow real low, licking his boots while they put on a show. They chant his name, raise their fists up high, while the real ones fight to keep us alive. They don't fight fair, they twist the truth, say they're the future, but they kill the roots. They laugh now, but watch them run when the north wind howls and justice comes. Traitors, selling us out, burning our home for a tax break now. They stand with the wolves, spit on the brave, but they'll beg for Canada when it's in its grave. tide will turn, and traitors pay when the fires burn. No statues raised, no banners flown, just names in dust where the traitors roam. Selling us out, burning our home for a tax breakdown. They stand with the wolves, spit on the brave, but they'll beg for Canada when it's in its grave. Trump traitors, Trump traitors, Trump traitors. Trump traitors! Trump traitors! Shame.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.